Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 1 of the 2017 USPBL playoffs. I'm Rich Borland, and in just a second, I will be joined by Brad Golder. As we look on to this crucial opening game of the 2017 USPBL playoff push, the 22-30 Westside Woolly Mammoths and the 26-26 Utica Unicorns are getting ready to begin, but first, let's set the stage. On the season, the Woolly Mammoths might be the fourth-place team coming into this playoff picture, but they are prepared for the Unicorns as they have taken 12 of the 16 meetings this season. Part of that success has been because of Jeremy Holcomb, the man starting on the mound tonight for the Mammoths. Against the Unicorns this season, Holcomb has been impressive. He has started in 6 games against the Utica Unicorns on the year, and in those 6 games, he is 6-0. In 40.1 innings pitched, he's given up just 4 earned runs on 20 hits while allowing 12 walks and retiring 30 men via the strikeout. As for his opponent on the mound, Donnie Murray, the man who had a no-hitter last season against the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, is looking to bounce back after lasting just 1 inning in his last outing on September the 3rd. On the season versus the Westside Woolly Mammoths, Donnie Murray is making his 11th start. In his 10 starts, he's got a 2-2 record through 47.2 innings pitched, and in those innings, he's given up 13 earned runs on 32 hits while giving up 19 base on balls and retiring 52 batters via the strikeout. As for the starting lineups tonight, the visiting 4th place Westside Woolly Mammoths line up like this. Leading off, playing second base out of Troy, Alabama, that's number 11, Jalen Lawson. Batting second, playing third base out of George Mason, number 9, Kent Blackstone. Batting third, playing center, number 18, out of Northwestern, the Wildcat, Thomas Fiesel. Batting cleanup tonight, the man who's been designated hitting for the most part in his time lately with the Woolly Mammoths. He'll be in right, though, tonight out of Tifton, Georgia, number 21, Alex Abbott. Batting fifth and left out of Hillsdale College, number 22, Ethan Whisker. As the designated hitter tonight out of Dakota State, number 10, Joe Davis. Batting seventh out of Missouri Baptist, number 2, the shortstop this evening, Jeff Smith. Batting eighth and behind the dish for the Mammoths out of Hillsborough Community College, number 4, Nick Kraus. And rounding out this Westside Woolly Mammoth lineup, playing first base today out of Southern New Hampshire University, number 3, Riley Palmer. As for the Utica Unicorns, the home team, the 3rd place team when it's all said and done in the regular season, leading off, playing shortstop tonight, number 15 out of Cal State Northridge, Brett Balkin. Batting second, playing second, number 9 out of Farley Dickinson University, that is Dylan Sprague. Batting third, playing first base, number 19 out of Tampa, Florida, Willie Martin. As the designated hitter in the 4 spot, number 24, Nico Lolio. Batting fifth, playing in center, number 8, Tony Rosselli. Batting sixth, behind the dish out of Carson Newman University, number 5, Greg Jones. Batting seventh, playing third base, number 10, Bobby Webb. Batting eighth, playing right field, number 4 out of Cornell University, Chris Cruz. And rounding out the Unicorn lineup, playing left today, number 2 out of Ohio University, the Mid-American Conference champion, Spencer Ibarra. So now I welcome in my good friend Brad Golder. Brad, you excited for this one?
I am. Playoff baseball is always fun, and we've got a couple of teams. It's the 3-4 matchup, which means the bottom 2 teams in the league. But when you look at it, there's not a lot of separation between the top team this season and the 4th place team, separated by just 6 games in the overall standings during the regular season. So when you look at this matchup, it's two pretty good teams in this league, and they've got a lot to play for, obviously, with the fact that if the loser goes home and they've got to win 3 games in order to claim a championship. But the players are on the field right now, and let's pause for God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please remain standing and remove your hats. Veteran and active military may keep your caps on while rendering the hand salute as we honor America and our military with the singing of our national anthem, performed this evening by the Troy Athens Orchestra.
The orchestra from Troy Athens High School with our national anthem here at Jimmy John's Field. It's got a very Friday night fall feel to it. You've got high school kids playing musical instruments on a field. It's not particularly warm here, and it's going to get colder as the sun sets over Jimmy John's Field. It's 61 degrees right now with mostly sunny skies, but that temperature is going to dip 10 to 15 degrees by the time things are all said and done here today. And we've got a dynamite pitching matchup because obviously as this playoffs progress, if these two teams end up progressing, Game 3 could be very late on pitching for these teams if they make it that far. But they've got to get there to make it that far, so they're both going with their aces in this one. And that's going to be a pretty exciting pitching matchup here today, Rich, with Jeremy Holcomb taking the mound today for Westside. And then for Utica, Donnie Murray, who's been a great pitcher in this league for now 2 years.
Yeah, and with it being the play-in game here, the first one, the fourth-place team versus the third-place team, obviously both the Unicorns and the Mammoths are going to have their go-to guy on the mound here tonight. And from here on out, it is scratch, tooth, and nail. You are clawing your way to make it to Sunday against the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. And that's the beauty of this great game of baseball. Anybody can win. There's no superior teams. It's all going to be coming down to this matchup between Donnie Murray and Jeremy Holcomb. Donnie Murray, like we mentioned, with a no-hitter last season against the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. In these types of games where things are all laid out on the line, Murray tends to succeed. I mentioned a little bit earlier in the pregame show, if you haven't just joined us until now, on September the 3rd, he pitched against the Diamond Hoppers, and I was told before the game he was going to try and go 4 or 5 good innings, but he had actually thrown 36 pitches through the first frame, gave up 5 earned runs on 9 hits, and not obviously not the way that he wants to have his last regular season start going. But for him and the Unicorns, they hope that he turns his latest downpull or and transition it into this game here tonight. But a tough lineup against the Woolly Mammoths.
Well, the thing is, too, is if he struggles, you know it's going to be a quick hook. And that's going to be the same case with Jeremy Holcomb if he struggles as well, because even though, you know, they're going to need pitchers in a second or possible third game, they got to win this one to get there. So it's going to be all hands on deck for both managers. Maybe a couple of starters might get held out and not come in relief, but I think with everybody else, it's all hands on deck as the throw goes down to second base, and we are just moments away from playoff baseball. Utica on the field right now. Ibarra in left, Rosselli in center, Cruz in right, Webb, Balkin, Sprague, and Martin left to right on the infield, and Jones will do the catching.
Keep an eye out for Balkin and Sprague. Not the most talented of hitters, but some of the things that they've done up the middle for the Unicorns this year, it's been pretty fun to watch. So keep in mind for that this evening. And
here comes Jalen Lawson, right-handed hitter, set to face Murray as the playoffs in the USPBL get underway. The quarterfinal round, the 3-seed Utica and the 4-seed Westside. First pitch of the ball game, fast strike in there, 0-1, and we are underway early. 7:04 is our time at first pitch. 61 degrees and mostly sunny skies.
Hey, if you're on time, you're late in my opinion, so we're right on track here this evening.
Murray with that step-back delivery. The second pitch of the ball game, a breaking ball, misses away. 1-1 to Jalen Lawson. Lawson, Blackstone, and Fusel, the first three due up for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, debuting here in 2017 as a franchise. Swing and a miss by Lawson makes the count 1-2.
Lawson on the year through 14 games with the Westside Woolly Mammoths. He's got 11 hits and 49 at-bats. He's came in to score 7 times while driving in 6 of his own, but he definitely uses speed to his advantage. He's got 2 home runs in a couple of the last 5 games for this team.
Pops this one up right side and out of play. I believe. Sometimes I'm a little premature to say out of play here in this ballpark because the dugouts are so removed from the playing field that there is a lot of foul territory between the dugouts and the screen all the way to the foul lines.
Yeah, sort of reminds me a little bit of the Coliseum. That was my first initial reaction last year when I started calling games last season, but tons and tons of room for plays to be made in foul territory here in the infield.
The 1-2 pitch on the way to Lawson. Fastball just missed. A little flinch there by the home plate umpire, but it's 2-2. Of course, in Oakland, it was necessitated by it being a multi-purpose stadium for football and baseball when it was built. This one was designed to get the fans closer to the action in the area behind home plate. Very little room between home plate and the backstop as Lawson cuts and misses at a high fastball. And a good start for Donnie Murray, who strikes out the first man he faces.
I'm not sure if you know this or not, Brad, but in all of professional baseball, you cannot get closer to home plate than right here at Jimmy John's Field. Just 15 short feet from the diamond tables, squarely behind home plate there, behind the catcher, Mr. Greg Jones, and home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz. It's a great place to be.
I'll bring up Kent Blackstone, who swings and misses, and the count is 0-1. Blackstone on the year at 226, 3 homers, 34 driven in. He has been here the whole way, has played in all but 5 games this year for Westside as Murray delivers. High fastball, cut on and missed, and so far so good for Donnie Murray. That fastball looks like it's got a lot of early life in it.
If he's on, he's tough to match up against, and we're excited to see what happens between him and Mr. Holcomb. If they can both be on this evening, we could have a quick one.
The 0-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Another fastball and another swing and a miss. 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts for Donnie Murray.
So Murray going to his bread and butter on the year coming into this ball game tonight. Donnie Murray with a 6-3 record through 20 starts with this Utica Unicorn team, a 3.23 ERA through 97.1 innings pitched, and he just crossed the 100 century mark. He's got 104 strikeouts coming into play tonight. Obviously 106 now, but he is making the Mammoths look silly to begin.
Thomas Fusel takes a look at strike 1. Fusel 282, homer and 5 RBIs. This is his 25th game of the year. Murray with the step back wind, the 0-1. That one's a breaking ball, bounces in, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, Fusel on the year, he's a contact hitter. Obviously just the 1 home run to his credit, but he uses his speed, and if he hits one into the gaps, it'll be trouble for the Unicorns.
Murray takes a deep breath, delivers the 1-1. That one is in there for a called strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sun could be a factor, especially in center and right as you look at the players out there. It's certainly shining brightly. 1-2 to Fusel, outside corner, called strike 3. Donnie Murray strikes out the side in the top half of the first inning. Not too shabby. Donnie Murray gets the job done in the top half of the first inning. Utica coming to bat in the bottom half of the first inning. And we'll be back after this. Bottom half of the first inning at Jimmy John's Field, and the Westside Woolly Mammoths have taken the field. Whisker, Fusel, and Abbott left to right in the outfield. Blackstone, Smith, Lawson, and Palmer left to right on the infield. And Kraus doing the catching for right-hander Jeremy Holcomb. And as you mentioned in the pregame, Rich, this is a guy in Jeremy Holcomb who has been very dominant during the 2017 regular season.
Yeah, on the year, Mr. Holcomb, a 7-3 record through 16 starts and one extra appearance, 17 total games for the right-hander. In those games, a 2.68 ERA through 94 innings pitched, and in those innings, he's retired 78 men via the strikeout while allowing 38 base on balls and 77 hits to his credit. On the year versus the Unicorns, mentioned it a little bit in the pregame show, but Holcomb has been dominant all season long against this Utica Unicorn lineup. 6 starts on the year for Holcomb, and he is 6-0. He's got 40.1 innings pitched in those 6 games while allowing just 4 earned runs on 20 hits, while allowing 12 walks and retiring 30 batters via the strikeout. Had to mention this, head-to-head this season, the Westside Woolly Mammoths 12-4 in the 16 games that these two teams have played against each other, and the runs against 70 for the Mammoths to the Unicorns 45.
You know, it's a Woolly Mammoths team, a pitching staff on a whole that doesn't give up a whole lot of runs. They finished last in the standings this year, but they were first in ERA. It's a team that pitches the ball well. They hit just 208 as a squad, so you can tell that run prevention was a strength, but run scoring was definitely a deficit in their arsenal as a squad. But it's I don't think what you would say in baseball would be your typical last-place team because they were so good from a pitching standpoint.
And the fact that there's only 4 teams has something to say with it as well. Mentioned how it's been pretty even all year long. No teams with over 30 wins as Balkan looks at ball 1 inside. But Diamond Hoppers ending their regular season 28-24. Beavers tied with that at 28-24. And then the Unicorns, of course, at 26-26. Mammoths at 22-30.
Balkan takes outside. Count 2-0 to the mustachioed shortstop for the Utica Unicorns. Finished 3rd in the league in hitting this year at .302, but that one sails over the helmet for ball 3. He's not a particularly tall unicorn, but that one well over his head.
It's one thing you got to pay attention here. Wonder if nerves are starting to become an issue for Holcomb. Of course, probably, if not the biggest stage, one of the biggest stages he's ever pitched at. Not a good start.
Yeah, and 4 wide, and really none of those pitches close, maybe outside the first pitch, which was a few inches inside. But Balkan draws the walk. During the regular season, Holcomb walked 38 in 94 innings. That's not a bad number of walks, especially for somebody who was able to get a lot of outs. But an early walk here on 4 pitches to Balkan, and now Dylan Sprague will stand in. Likely taking until he gets one, I would think. But we'll see how Jim Essien plays it. First pitch, Sprague is taking, and taking just off the plate away.
Yeah, that pitch right on the border on the outside half. You would imagine maybe if Holcomb had a couple of strikes in that first at-bat, home plate umpire might have started this at-bat off with a strike, but definitely have to earn your strike zone, especially in a game like this.
Dylan Sprague, 263, a couple of homers and 14 driven in, and there is the first strike of the game delivered by Holcomb. It's 1-1.
So it only took 6 pitches, but beauty thing for the Mammoths, it's early, so, and just like that, he can turn 2 with just one swing of the bat if he plays his cards right.
Sprague shows bunt, it misses away, and the count is 2-1. Balkan, the runner at first, has good speed. He's only been caught 1 time with 12 steals on the year, and you look at the league as a whole, the catchers in general have struggled this season in throwing out would-be base stealers. 2-1 is a running count, but he doesn't go, and the pitch just misses away, 3-1. All 4 pitches in this at-bat have been right around the same spot, but 3 of them, of the 4, have been just off the plate.
Looks like Holcomb's trying to start his night outside.
That's a chopper to the right side, gets through after Balkan waits on it, into right field, first and second for the Unicorns with nobody out.
It's exactly the start you want if you're the Unicorns. Your starter, Donnie Murray, in his element, retiring the side on strikeouts in the top of the first, and you get your first 2 men on to begin this game. No better start here for the Unicorns.
Willie Martin, the first baseman, stands in with 2 on and none out. Martin 320 during the regular campaign, a couple homers and 16 RBIs. Played in just 14 games during the regular season.
16 hits and 50 at-bats to his credit. Trying to drive in RBIs 16, maybe 17 and 18 if he can put something into it.
So now Holcomb delivers, and a breaking ball misses away. 1 ball, no strikes. Kraus, the catcher, went to the mound after that base hit. And after starting the first 2 batters off with fastballs, he started Martin off with a breaking pitch as the 1-0 comes home and a fastball is tapped foul.
Something to look for, obviously. The 1 and 2 hitters getting started with fastballs, and you'll start to see the 3, 4, and 5 hitters maybe start off with off-speed pitches to try and keep the rhythm going and keep the Unicorns off of the mind of the starting pitcher, Holcomb. He needs help all he can get right here with a force out at any bag.
Balkin dancing off second base. Hard hit ground ball to third. Blackstone steps on the bag, now across the diamond, and it's a double play. It was well struck by Martin down the line, but Blackstone was guarding the line. Had to move about 4 steps forward to step on the bag and then throw across to get Martin to complete the double play.
Yeah, real heads-up play there from the third baseman out of George Mason. With his force at any base, he was playing a little bit back in the infield. He obviously anticipating a ground ball hit his way and did exactly what he was supposed to do. Got the lead runner at third and then got the for sure out at first base to get a double play. And now, just like that, the Unicorns no longer in as big of a threat.
Outside, 1 ball, no strikes to the left-handed hitting Nico Lalio, the DH, 215, 6 homers and 32 driven in. Pitch home, and it's on the outside edge, 1-1.
Yeah, Lolio on the season, not the greatest of fielders, but if the Unicorns can get his bat in the lineup, they're going to give him every chance he can. Of course, with those 6 home runs on the year, he is a giant threat sitting in this cleanup spot.
He's got a runner in scoring position, pops it up left side. Room for Blackstone, who camps under it in foul ground, backpedals and makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. Utica gets a couple on but does not score. 1 man left on base. We're through an inning at Jimmy John's Field. No score in the USPBL quarterfinals. Scoreless through 1 at Jimmy John's Field on a sunny but slightly chilly evening for playoff baseball. With Rich Borland, I'm Brad Golder, and we've got 4, 5, and 6 due up here for Westside. Alex Abbott will lead it off against Donnie Murray, who struck out the side in his first inning of work. He was brilliant, 13 pitches, 10 strikes, 3 strikeouts. Holcomb wasn't, but both pitchers put zeros on the scoreboard, and Holcomb ended up throwing only 2 more pitches than Donnie Murray did, as his fastball catches the inside corner for a generous strike 1.
Yeah, this is going to be arguably the toughest matchup of the night for Donnie Murray. Alex Abbott on the season leading this Westside team with 8 home runs, 46 hits, and 9 doubles to his credit.
Swings and misses at that one, and Murray works ahead 0-2.
Also, 28 walks on the year for Abbott, good enough for first place as well. So not only can he put the ball in play, but he's got a really keen eye up there at the plate, a lethal combination for that man right there.
The 0-2 home. Inside corner called strike 3. Abbott caught looking. 4 up, 4 down, 4 strikeouts for Donnie Murray.
First 2 swings and misses, and then a couple of looks as of late. But Donnie Murray is, I mean, this is what you come to watch. Donnie Murray has been the marquee guy for this Utica Unicorn team both this year and last year. And honestly, the only question I have is, what's he still doing here? He's done great in his time this year, but obviously trying to get his second consecutive USPBL championship.
Whisker, the batter. Ethan Whisker takes a look at a fastball, strike 1. 0-1 the count. You can tell Murray's confident because he gets that baseball and delivers very quickly. Blooped into shallow center. Roselli has a beat on it. First ball put into play by the Woolly Mammoths, but Roselli with an easy catch, 2 down.
For starting pitchers, obviously the first time around versus the lineup is going to be a little bit easier than the second time around. The adjustments, of course, will be made by the Mammoths, but we'll see how long it'll take them to put a couple of hits together here against the right-hander.
Now Joe Davis, just 162 during the regular season. No homers, 7 driven in, and a breaking ball to him. Splits the middle of the plate.
There's so many different ways to describe how a pitcher is on, but one of the biggest, the way that Murray's painting the outside and inside corners here to start has been really, really good.
Opposite field, line drive foul. 0-2 now to Joe Davis.
It's
DHing today for the Woolly Mammoths. Murray rocks back and delivers an 0-2. Just missed the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
nice hold right there by the home plate umpire, Gary Wagenschutz. That was Murray where he's been living all day long, but just enough outside there to not ring him up.
The 1-2. Ground ball foul down the third baseline.
And one thing about Murray, when you throw so many strikes, obviously that's good from a pitching perspective, but not only that, it forces the hitters to know that something's going to be coming in the zone. I have to be ready to take action. And then as well, on top of that, makes your defenders that much more ready when they are expecting a ball being hit their way when, of course, the ball falling in the zone.
Still 1-2 to Davis. Chokes up slightly on the bat from the right side. Pitch from Murray. Fastball away, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Murray 91 on that fastball. He will consistently stay around that 90 to 92 frame. But he's got a good opportunity here on the 2-2.
Here it comes. Line to the right side and foul, and Davis giving Murray his toughest at-bat so far.
7th pitch of the at-bat about to happen here. Man out of Santa Cruz, California, trying to give the Mammoths their first hit of the ball game.
The 2-2, line right side, slicing foul and into the picnic area down the right side.
It's one thing I noticed calling games here. You got the giant protective netting that completely protects grandstands from left to right, but not the biggest of protection out there for those people in the cabana suites. Got to keep your heads up.
comes the 2-2. Slow breaking ball, popped up, shallow center. Back goes Sprague. In comes Roselli. Sprague leaps, makes the catch, then gets taken out by Roselli, who is in pain down on the field in shallow center field. Roselli went up, made the catch. Roselli went down. Rather, Sprague went up, made the catch. Roselli went down. I thought in that situation, Sprague would take the brunt of it, kind of getting undercut accidentally, but it was actually Roselli who is in pain now in shallow center field, but after going down on a knee, gets back up slowly and looks like will head into the dugout on his own. What a catch, though, by the second baseman Sprague.
No doubt about it. You just hope he's okay. He can finish this one out, but it's been a pretty fun inning and a half here to begin this one. Lots of strikeouts and lots of extracurriculars out there in the outfield. So stay tuned here. We'll head to the home half of the second when we come back.
A terrific defensive gem turned in the top half of the second inning by the second baseman Dylan Sprague, colliding with Tony Roselli, the center fielder, but both are okay. And Utica comes to bat here in the bottom half of the second inning with Tony Roselli set to lead it off, but he has not yet left the dugout after being tended to by the training staff. So this may be a minute if we see if Roselli is able to stay in the game. He walked back to the dugout gingerly, but the trainer came out, and we will see if it is him who comes out to hit, or a couple of players that are going towards the clubhouse area. So you wonder if it's going to be him or if maybe they are going to need somebody else to come to the plate here.
And that's a tough situation. Roselli, of course, going down in that inning-ending catch by Dylan Sprague on that collision out there in shallow center field. It wouldn't have been as tough for the Unicorns if maybe Roselli was the last out in the previous inning. They could have waited a little longer to decide if they're going to bring him in this game or not. But
that's Sprague right now, who was in the clubhouse, and he's coming back onto the field. So maybe they needed to do some further tests in the clubhouse.
Of course, always got to look out for concussion protocol, maybe something along those lines. But walking out of the dugout and grabbing a bat, that is in fact Tony Roselli. So he looks like he'll be okay, at least for the time being.
All right, so just a little bit of extra precaution, make sure he's okay, and they're giving Jeremy Holcomb about 8 more warm-up tosses in between innings, and Roselli will lead it off for the Utica Unicorns. Bottom of the second inning, no score. And the USPBL quarterfinals, the 3 seed Utica, the 4 seed Westside. First pitch to Roselli is a called strike 1.
Yeah, Roselli on the year, batting just over 200. Through 26 games with this Utica team, he's got 20 hits and 99 at-bats. But, of course, with that collision out there in center field, and in a game like this as well, sort of put the numbers away and just play between the lines. It's, of course, anything possible here, but hopefully the man right there is healthy.
1-1 pitch is a called strike, and it's 1-2. Holcomb survived a scare in the first. 2 reached against him with nobody out, but a double play and a pop-up got him out of the inning. 1-2 here to Roselli is low, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's a nasty slider out of that right hand at 81 miles an hour. It's exactly what you want with an off-speed pitch ahead in the count there, a pitch that starts in the zone and then drops out as it crosses over that plate, but a better job by Roselli to hold off.
2-2 is low, and the count is now full. Roselli, Jones, and Webb, 3 scheduled here in the second for the Unicorns. 3-2, outside corner called strike 3. First strikeout for Holcomb as he paints the outside corner. Well, Utica, I'd say, is in a pretty familiar situation to what they were in last year. Last year they were in last place going into the playoffs, which was third place.
Correct.
This year they're third place.
Right.
And last year they went on to win the championship. But they're going to have to win an additional game. As that ball is cranked deep right field off the bat of Jones. That ball is towards the corner. It's a fair ball as it's a dive by Abbott. Couldn't come up with it. It bounced out of play. So it's a ground rule double for Jones. That probably cost him a base because with Abbott belly flopping down the right field line, probably could not have gotten up in time to throw the ball back in to prevent Jones from getting to third. But a double on a ground rule double down the right field line by Jones, who just barely missed getting it out of here.
Yeah, that was a really nice effort there from Alex Abbott out in right field. He went as far as he could, fully extended himself out there down the right field line. He just missed it by a couple inches, and fortunately, though, for the Mammoths, with the hop that it took, it sailed over the wall, and instead of a one-out triple for Jones, it's a double, but still in scoring position over there on second.
And Bobby Webb stepping to the plate, the third baseman. With an opportunity here to give Utica the lead. Takes a fastball strike. Webb 314 during the regular season, but just 10 games to show for it. 11 of 35. A couple of homers, 8 RBIs, 0 extra base hits in 10 games. Bats in a crouch and takes outside, 1-1.
Does have 2 home runs to his credit through 35 at-bats, but I think the Unicorns would be perfectly fine with just a base knock here, and that's all Greg Jones will probably need to come in to score.
Yeah, I misspoke there. He did have the 2 homers, but no doubles or triples. So that one is inside to Webb, 2 balls and a strike.
Hey, that's what we're here for, keep each other on our toes, right?
Couple of hits now for Utica. And they've got a man in scoring position with 1 out. 2-1 to Webb, right in there. 2-2.
So a big spot here now for Webb. Got 2 strikes against you. Jalen Lawson, the second baseman for the Mammoths, shaded towards the middle as he's got a coverage over there on Jones. Be a perfect time for him to take one into right field.
Two balls, 2 strikes with 1 out to Bobby Webb. From the first base side of the rubber, the stretch. Pitch home, swing and a miss, and a pitch low and away. Kraus blocks it, now throws to first to get the out.
That was a really good job by Kraus. Obviously a couple of different things he had to do the second he realized he had to go over to first with it. Initially, finds the baseball, goes towards it, but as he was making his way down that first base line, he had all of his attention toward Greg Jones over there at second base, forcing him to retreat towards that bag, and then did the right thing, finishing off the out over there at first base.
Now it's Chris Cruz, the right fielder, with 2 outs and a runner at second, and a changeup misses outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Cruz was one of the great stories in the USPBL last year, but hit just 196 during the regular season this year. 6 doubles, a triple, 5 homers for the left-handed hitter, who takes low, 2 balls and no strikes.
So a friendly hitter's count. You do have the base open, but you would imagine Holcomb He's going to try and go after Cruz here. Cruz with 5 home runs on the season, even though his stature doesn't usually fit that of a power hitter. But Cruz, if he puts something onto it, it'll fly.
A lot of pull power. Grounds this one towards first base. Palmer has it, steps on the bag, and the side is retired. There was a 1-out double by Greg Jones, but he was left stranded. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on base. 2 innings complete at Jimmy John's Field. No score in the USPBL quarterfinals. It's the top half of the 3rd inning from Jimmy John's Field. No score between the Utica Unicorns and the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Fans, like some selected few, able to leave here today when this is all said and done with a USPBL softy ball. Great night for baseball. We got post-game fireworks. And one of these teams will advance to round 2 to take on the Eastside Diamond Hoppers tomorrow. And either one of these 2 teams or Eastside will advance to the championship game Sunday to take on Birmingham Bloomfield.
It's a wild scenario, but of course the first place team getting awarded for their credit throughout the whole regular season. Beavers, not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Tons of time off. They played in game 70 of the regular season, the second to last regular season game, but you get 4 or 5 days without playing a game, and you're used to playing nearly every day for 3 months. It's probably a change, but we'll see if the legs are more rested or less experienced, as they won't play till Sunday.
Jeff Smith to lead things off. The shortstop takes a look at strike 1. It's an advantage in the pitching standpoint for sure. They will have the most rested pitching staff going in, and they will be able to throw their ace, who is Randy Wynn. Pitch is low, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. But I think that there's going to be some momentum. Let's say Utica wins today and then wins tomorrow. They're going to be, quote-unquote, tired going into that game, and they are going to be bottom of the barrel in pitching. 1-1 is outside, 2-1. But if they're able to, in that scenario, get a guy who hasn't pitched particularly well, but get him hot, and he pitches well in that game, I think that there's going to be some advantage to the offense just because baseball's an everyday game. I think there's some advantage to having played the 2 days before from that perspective. This ball is foul-tipped in the mid by Smith, 2-2. So which will be more of an advantage, having a rested pitching staff and everybody available, or having that offense that has played the 2 days before and is a little bit more in a routine. 2-2, blooped right side, foul ground. Long run over for Martin, has room, but can't get there. And it's just out of his reach in foul ground. Good, valiant effort there in foul territory, but it was just out of his reach.
Can't come up with the baseball, but sort of like Mr. Abbott of the Mammoths in that last half inning out in right field. The effort clearly being shown here today. These guys want it all, and in this initial game one, loser going home after this entire season. Sort of like game 163, it feels like. You know, you play the entire season and then all for one game. So much on the line here tonight, but so far for Holcomb and Donnie Murray, the nerves at a minimum.
2-2, swing and a miss. 7 up, 7 down for Donnie Murray. Of those 7 outs, 5 on strikeouts.
Started off in the first, striking out the side, Lawson, Blackstone, and Fiesel. Began the second, retiring Abbott on 3 pitches. Abbott, of course, leading the Mammoths in so many offensive categories. That was a big test, and staying right on track, leading off the 3rd inning with a strikeout as well. He is setting the tone here early.
Nick Krause, just 164 during the regular season. Good defensive catcher. Takes a look at strike 1 on the inside corner.
Yeah, Krause, of course, a part of the Utica Unicorns last season. Got a victory and is a champion, but he would be one of the few that would be able to go back-to-back, but with different teams.
Inside, it's 1-1 to Krause. Scoreless, top of the 3rd. Lights are on here at Jimmy John's Field. In downtown Utica, Michigan. 1-1 from Murray to Krause, popped up right side. Ballpark along the banks of the Clinton River. And downtown Utica just on the other side of the river. Just around the river bend, if you will. 1-2 the count to Krause, the kick and the delivery home. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, of course, from a baseball perspective, this has been great for all the players and coaches and staff involved. Had double-digit number of players getting picked up by MLB organizations last year. Had another number of guys selected this year. But from a fan perspective, you really can't get that much better. Family fun all around and great baseball to be had. As excited as we are for this championship weekend, a little sad that it's almost to an end.
2-2 to Krause. Hard hit ground ball towards second base. 1 step on the outfield grass. Sprague Fields throws to first. 8 up, 8 down for Donnie Murray. 18 players have signed contracts out of the USPBL with affiliated teams. Talked to one of those guys today, in fact. Taylor Jellikowski is back. He is a native of the area from Fraser and a former Unicorn. He's in the dugout with those guys and cheering them on. That's impressive because he could very easily big-time them. He's a member of the Twins as that ball's rocketed to right center field, and that's going to be the first safety of the ball game. Into the right center field gap. On his way to second base is Palmer with a 2-out double, and that's the first hit and the first base runners against Donnie Murray.
So not sure if you saw that, but as that ball was going into right field, Palmer, not sure what happened on his round over at first base, but he sort of took a awkward route down the first baseline. I mean, with where that ball was hit, you got to be thinking, too, out of the box, but he sort of stumbled as he was rounding first base, got tripped up, but ends up making it into second base on time with the 2-out double. We'll see if Jalen Lawson can give the Mammoths the first lead of the game.
Breaking ball high and in, 1 ball and no strikes. Palmer not wasting any time jumping on that first pitch from the number 9 spot in the batting order as well. Lawson with a 1 ball, no strike count. He struck out swinging in the first. No score, top of the 3rd. Murray delivers, swing and a miss there. And it's 1-1 to Lawson.
Yeah, Lawson last night against the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, 2 of 5 in the game, had a single, a walk, but did have a solo shot to begin the 4th inning for the Mammoths. They had a 6-3 lead through 7 innings, but Diamond Hoppers attacking them for 6 runs in the 8th inning and ended up getting the victory.
1-1, nicks the outside corner. And it's 1-2 to Jalen Lawson.
It's one thing about Lawson, he clearly has the speed, but the power is starting to come around. 2 home runs in the last 3 games for the Woolly Mammoths. Not a lot of wind out there. Dead air here in Utica. If he puts one high in the air, it could go.
No dead air here in the booth, though. 1-2. Ground ball didn't mean to towards first, off the heel of the glove of Martin, but he steps on the bag and recovers for out number 3. First hit, first base runner of the ball game for Westside, but they leave Palmer stranded at second base. We head to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. No score in the USPBL quarterfinals. Still no score here at Jimmy John's Field in Utica. With Rich Borland, Brad Golder. 9-1-2 due up for Utica. Spencer Ibarra, the left fielder, will begin it against Jeremy Holcomb. Holcomb has had base runners in both innings of work. He's given up 2 hits and a walk. But so far, neither team has scored. Holcomb winds and deals. High and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Winner today will play tomorrow at 7:05 against the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Low for ball 2. Holcomb walked the first batter of the ball game on 4 pitches. Kicks and deals the 2-0 to Ibarra. Ibarra high and away, 3-0.
It's the last thing you want here if you're Holcomb, as he's clearly in a little bit of a funk after he got that baseball back. He was shaking his head back and forth, but trying to get back in a groove here, he's going to have to work.
And he's going to walk the leadoff man of the inning. Low and in with a fastball and nowhere near. So he begins the 3rd as he began the 1st with a 4-pitch walk. That was to Brett Balkin, who stands in now with nobody out.
Not a good start here in this home half of the 3rd inning. You walk the number 9 hitter on 4 straight pitches, give way to the top of the order. Balkin, Sprague, and Martin, as well as Lolio. These next 4 guys, it's going to be a tough task here for the right-hander. 1 on, nobody out. He's going to have to get through Balkin and Sprague to begin with. Both of those men reaching in the 1st.
Throw to first, runner back safely. Typically, after a 4-pitch walk, you'll see a guy take the first pitch. This is also a possible bunt situation. Leadoff guy gets on base. Now you've got the leadoff hitter in the order up in a game that looks to be a pitcher's duel, at least so far. Bunt shown, and he does bunt it foul right side, and it's 0-1. So Balkin was bunting, didn't square around to bunt, showed late, but tried to bunt for a base hit and did bunt at the first pitch after 4 straight missed.
Yeah, Balkin, the fastest guy on this Utica team. It would almost be stupid to not lay one down here. Balkan with 12 stolen bases on 13 attempts this year. Worst case scenario, you lay the bunt down, sacrifice yourself, and put a runner into scoring position.
Bunt didn't show there. Instead, he swings and gets a base hit into left field, a ground ball to the left side by Balkan. So didn't bunt on the second pitch. Swung away and singles to left, and Utica's got a rally cooking here. 2 on, none out for Dylan Sprague.
The bottom of the third inning, starting off just how the bottom of the first had with a leadoff 4-pitch walk and then a single after that. Dylan Sprague, the man who had that single in the first inning, standing in now. Sprague, of course, on the season does have 2 home runs, but another possibility for a bunt situation.
And the corners play in anticipation of that. Bunt was not shown. Instead, a strike called at the knees to Sprague, 0-1. Sprague with that single to right back in the first. Ibarra the runner at second, Balkan the runner at first. Now Sprague takes outside on a changeup, 1-1.
Yeah, that changeup missing high and outside. Clearly the last place you want to miss with a changeup is up. Thankfully for Holcomb's sake, it had missed the strike zone completely. That could have been trouble right there.
1 ball, 1 strike. That one's taken a little bit low, 2-1.
Good approach here so far for Dylan Sprague, the man out of Troy, New York, the left-hander. He's got a good hitter's count here ahead, 2-1. Will he take advantage?
Pitch home. Ground ball tapped off the end of the bat, foul left side. And it's 2-2.
Palmer sort of inside of that baseline over at first. The man on third, Kent Blackstone, playing just behind it, and the middle infielders playing for the most part at normal depth. Not really covering the man on second over there, Ibarra.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch home. Ground ball towards second base. Lawson applies the tag. Throw to first is in time. Balkan, pleading his case, said that tag was never applied. But Lawson gets credit for the double play. 4-3. Runner to third with 2 outs.
And Lawson, initially, I thought he was just going to do it the conventional way, throw it to second, get the relay over to first, but he ended up trying to go for the tag himself. Sometimes that's the risky route. Could get a collision, or the ball could come out and umpire could not call it in your favor. But from a Woolly Mammoth standpoint, their second baseman getting the job done right there. But the Unicorns not thrilled with the call. But either way, they still have an opportunity here with a runner just 90 feet away from scoring. And Willie Martin, the 3-hole hitter, coming up to the plate right now. You can't control every situation, but you can control what's out in front of you. The Unicorns with a great opportunity to get the game's first run.
2 outs, runner at third. Willie Martin grounded into a double play in the first. Another RBI spot here. He takes a slider in the dirt. Good block by Kraus. 1 ball, no strikes.
That was, I mean, I've seen Nick Kraus time and time again, but that might have been his best job of the year. You got the possible first run of the ball game just 90 feet away from you. That slider in the dirt, it's not a tough pitch to stop, but he did a great job right there.
1 ball, no strikes. That one, slider outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Of course, for Ibarra, the runner at third, a ball that gets past the catcher is not necessarily an opportunity to score because the backstop is so close to home plate. It's no guarantee that when it gets past the catcher that you're going to be able to score. Holcomb steps off. He's got a couple of bases open to the dangerous Willie Martin. And a strike on the inside corner, off speed. 2 balls and a strike.
Holcomb had been trying to attack the outside all game, but goes inside right there on Willie Martin. 2 outs on the board. Martin not with plenty of speed at the plate. Was opportunity possibly to get a jam shot there, but nothing doing instead.
That one's low. 3 balls and a strike to Willie Martin.
wouldn't be the worst thing to put the man on base here. Would obviously cause a force out at both first and second for Nico Lolio, who popped out to third base to end the first inning, but still an opportunity to retire Martin here. The count 3-1.
Holcomb from the stretch with a runner at third. 3-1 pitch home. This is inside, ball 4. Willie Martin draws the free pass.
Holcomb on the season in the 6 games against this Utica Unicorn team. He had just 12 walks and 40.1 innings pitched on the night. That is his second walk. We'll see if the concentration and command here of Holcomb starts to slowly creep out of his reach. Manager Shane McCaddy of this Westside Woolly Mammoth team out there to have a conversation with not just Holcomb and Nick Kraus, but his entire infield. A big situation coming up. So many possibilities to get that third and final out. Sort of a strategical meeting, as well as probably a little bit of momentum for, or motivation, excuse me, for Holcomb to try and beat Lolio here. But they could also maybe put Lolio on to load the bases, but I'm sure that they're going to attack him here, as they could have just put him on if they wanted to. So Lolio, the man who will try and get the job done for the Unicorns.
So 2 outs, runners at the corners. And the first pitch to Lolio, it's called strike. Started to offer at it, but it was in the zone anyhow, 0-1. Ibarra the runner at third, Martin the runner at first. 2 outs. Scoreless tie, bottom of the third. Holcomb deals low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of room in those gaps in between left and right field. Tons of speed there for Thomas Fiesel, the man out of Northwestern, the Wildcat, out of the Big Ten. He can run him down with the best of them, but Lolio with a quick swing.
Line drive, left center field towards the gap, but Whisker is under it, squeezes it for out number 3. Utica again puts runners on, but does not score. No runs, a hit, and 2 big runners left on base. They have stranded 4 through 3 innings. We go to the 4th inning. No score between Utica and Westside. Brad Golder back with you here at Jimmy John's Field, and it's been a pitching duel here between Utica and Westside, as we expected, with Jeremy Holcomb and Donnie Murray with 3 scoreless innings so far. And Rich Borland, this is, I think, pretty much exactly what we expected. Two of the best pitchers in the USPBL, and through 3 innings, 0 runs on the board.
Yeah, Holcomb on the season, like we mentioned, 6-0 against this Utica team. Donnie Murray, I mean, he's Donnie Murray. That is self-evident right there. He can pitch with the best of them in this entire league, and he's got 5 strikeouts, no walks through the first 3 frames. He'll deal with Kent Blackstone, Thomas Fiesel, and Alex Abbott, the 2, 3, 4 hitters, to begin this 4th inning. Second time around for Blackstone, Fiesel, and Abbott. And all 3 of them, though, over 1 with a strikeout. Blackstone on the season, batting .226 coming into play tonight. This is his 48th game with the Westside Woolly Mammoths, and he's got 38 hits and 168 at-bats coming into play tonight, but he'll try and get things going here in this top of the 4th. Mammoths with just 1 hit to their credit. That was that 2-out double in the previous 3rd inning off the number 9 hitter, Riley Palmer. But a ground out to the first baseman, Willie Martin, retired Jalen Lawson, and that's where we are as we speak. Donnie Murray back out. He's got 41 pitches through the first 3 innings, 31 of them for strikes. It's about exactly where you want to be. 3/4 of your pitches in the strike zone. He starts off Kent Blackstone, though, with a ball outside. Infield, outfield. Infield, I would say, is at normal depth, but a huge gap in right center as Murray throws the 1-0 pitch, a fastball right over the heart of the plate, swung on and missed at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, Rosselli's normal depth, but shaded towards left in center, and Cruz is deep in right. So the biggest part of the ballpark is right center, and that's where the gap is against Blackstone.
Murray sets, delivers the 1-1 pitch, missing far inside on Blackstone. Good hitters count here for the left-hander. He had gone down in the count 0-2 in his first at-bat and was retired on the 3rd pitch, so he's finally ahead in the count. We'll see what he gets. That one, 89 inside on the hands. 3-1 the count here on Mr. Blackstone.
First 3-ball count of the game for Donnie Murray.
Incredible. The 3-1 pitch, fastball right down Broadway, called strike 2 by home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz. Murray, like you mentioned, with the first count that he has thrown 3 balls in. See if he can fight back in this one. Blackstone trying to give the Mammoths their first base runner the right way, leading it off here in this top of the 4th inning. The payoff pitch swung on and fouled off. We'll do it all over again. Starting to drop by the second here, temperature-wise, here at Jimmy John's Field in Utica. The fans seem to be prepared, bundled up, and ready for a great game. And that's exactly what they've gotten through the first 3 frames. Payoff pitch once again swung on and missed. Kent Blackstone for the 2nd time tonight goes down via the swing and miss. 1 up, 1 down here for Donnie Murray. That's strikeout number 6 on the night.
Impressive. 4 of them have been swinging strikeouts. And he is a guy that has brought his ace stuff. You know, the only hit of the game was that Riley Palmer double to lead off the 3rd.
On the first pitch, Fiesel's at bat. He hits it deep on a line into center. Initially, Rosselli hadn't had a good beat on it. At the last second, he starts to creep in and ends up making the catch for out number 2, but that was not an easy one. They always say outfielders, me, myself, I was a pitcher. I did not have that outfielder athletic body, but they say the toughest ones are the ones that are hit right at you on a line, and a nice job reacting to that one was Rosselli, who's already been battling an injury in this one.
Well, and the thing about minor league and college ballparks is that the lights are lower because there aren't as many grandstands. With the lower lights, it's harder to see in the outfield.
On this one, a ground ball to the right side past the diving first baseman, Willie Martin. Alex Abbott will cruise into second base, but making it a whole lot closer of a play was Chris Cruz. Initially, Abbott was sort of lollygagging halfway down that first baseline and halfway to second, but he realized Cruz was getting that ball in faster than he would have hoped, and he sort of had to hustle it up as he was sliding in there, but safely getting in the 2-out double for Alex Abbott. That is his team-leading 10th double of the season for the Woolly Mammoths.
Well, strong, accurate arm for Cruz in right field, but just late. And there's a trend that's starting to develop against Donnie Murray. The 3 best swings against him so far have all been first pitches. Let's see the adjustment that he is able to make here. Palmer's double, that double by Abbott, and the line drive by Fiesel are the 3 best balls hit against him, and they were all first pitches.
The first pitch in this at-bat to the next batter, Whisker. High and inside, Whisker holds off on it, and part of that is how we were talking about the second time around, a whole lot different than the first. These Westside Woolly Mammoths understanding that Donnie Murray is on tonight. He's most likely going to start you off with a pitch in the zone, so the Mammoths doing a good job of reacting quickly against the right-hander. The 1-0 pitch, fastball down the heart of the plate, a line drive over to the right side. Out of play.
The way to combat it, too, if you're Donnie Murray, is the first pitches have been predominantly fastballs. That's what you're going to expect to see first time through the order. He's got to break up the routine in that first pitch of the at-bat because those guys on the first base dugout are coming out swinging on those first pitches. He's got to mix it in, some slow stuff, and keep the hitters guessing.
On the 1-1 pitch, a ball lifted high in foul territory. Will it stay in the ballpark? Yes, it will. Underneath it, corralling it, was Greg Jones, the catcher. 4 up in the top of the 4th for the Mammoths. They get a double off the bat of Alex Abbott, but Whisker gets retired on the pop-out to end it. We're halfway through the 4th, scoreless game between the Westside Woolly Mammoths and Utica Unicorns. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 of this 2017 USPBL playoffs. Rich Borland alongside Brad Golder for this one. It's been all pitching throughout these first 3.5 frames. The Westside Woolly Mammoths on the night, just a couple of doubles to their credit. The Unicorns, through their first 3 frames offensively, have a hit in each inning, but could not put enough together to bring in a run. It's been Holcomb and Donnie Murray throughout this one. Holcomb on the outing thus far, 49 pitches through the first 3 frames, opposed to Donnie Murray, who through the first 4 frames is just at 53 pitches. On this half inning of work for Jeremy Holcomb, he'll deal with Tony Rosselli, Greg Jones, and Bobby Webb. On the night, those 3 combined 1 for 3. Jones had that double in the second, and then Webb and Rosselli striking out on each opposite ends of him. Rosselli struck out to begin the second inning. We'll see what he starts off this home half of the 4th. Holcomb, with pitch number 50 on the night, misses outside at 74 miles an hour. Rosselli on the 1-0, looks at a fastball that was arguably just outside, but close enough for home plate umpire to call it a strike. The count even at 1-1. Holcomb from the windup, the pitch, fastball inside at 91. Ball 2, the count 2-1 on the batter. Holcomb with a deep breath. The 2-1 offer outside and low. Nice stop from Kraus in the dirt. Gets a new baseball from the home plate umpire. Rosselli coming into play tonight, a .202 average. He has left the yard 5 different times. Trying to get his first hit of the evening. He is right there, that 3-1 pitch. nubbed off the end of the bat. The payoff pitch will ensue here for Rosselli. Nobody on, nobody out here in this bottom of the fourth inning. Both teams looking for their first run of the night. Payoff pitch, swung on, taken the other way and past the second baseman, Jalen Lawson. Tony Rosselli with the fourth hit of the night for the Unicorns. He leads this one off with a single to right field.
It's a good piece of hitting there, obviously going where the pitch was and going to the opposite field. But you think about the previous pitch in that at bat, it was a 3-1 pitch, hitters count, and he came up empty, took a big swing and really looked silly, just barely got a piece of it. But he made the adjustment and realized that, after a big swing like that, probably going to go away on him. And a nice piece of hitting there to be a little bit more defensive, protective, and get the base hit into right field.
It's all about getting him on, getting him over, and getting him in. Gregory Jones on the first pitch he sees. He lost one into left center. Underneath it, making the catch to his right, Thomas Fiesel for out number one. Rosselli meanders his way back to first. So a good job right there from the man out in center, Thomas Fiesel, to track that one down. Bobby Webb now the batter for the Utica Unicorns. He was retired by a strikeout, a drop third strike. He was thrown out at first. Back in the second inning, an opportunity with a man on for the second time tonight. Instead of seeing pitch number one, Holcomb keeping tabs on Rosselli over there at first base. Rosselli on the season, 5 stolen bases in 6 attempts, so he can run. We'll see if they try and put something on here. He's not going anywhere. First pitch to Bobby Webb, a ball missing inside, right at 90 miles an hour. Cold starting to become a factor. In your opinion, do you think it affects the pitchers more or the hitters?
I think the hitters. I think because of the sting that you get on the hands, but I don't think it's at that point where it's extreme.
1-0 pitch. The runner going from first and second. A tag applied. Jalen Lawson on the opposite end right there. Nice job from Nick Krause to retire Rosselli. Rosselli got a good jump going from first to second, but the catcher, Nick Krause, one-upping him right there. Nice job defensively for the Mammoths to not let the Unicorns get a runner in scoring position. And instead of 1 out, 1 on, it is 2 outs with nobody on here.
And obviously a hit and run there by Utica, but Webb came up empty, swinging at a pitch that was clearly off the plate.
And part of the success right there for the runner caught stealing was Holcomb. He threw nothing that that Bobby Webb was going to get a hold of, and Krause doing a good job on the other end of it to finish off the put out. The count 1-2 on Bobby Webb. Fastball at 92. Out of the hand of Holcomb, missing though, high and outside. Evens the count up at 2-2.
Krause threw out just under 17% of would-be base stealers on the year, but that was really the best percentage of anyone this year. In the USPBL, we talked about it. This is a runner's league. Catchers have struggled throughout the year in throwing out base runners.
Yeah, tons of speed on every team in this league, and catchers, when they do get a good throw against these runners, when they end up getting the best of them, they are fortunate. It does not happen too often. Bobby Webb looking at ball 3, low and away here. He has worked a full count. Bases loaded here. Unicorns trying to get their second hit of the inning, but trying to not go down 1-2-3, but will do just that. Bobby Webb, for the second time tonight, strikes out via the swing and miss. Through 4 innings, we're scoreless still. Mammoths and Unicorns trying to move on to play the Eastside Diamond Hoppers tomorrow, but we still got a long ways to go. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland alongside Brad Golder as we head to this top of the 5th inning. Westside Woolly Mammoths will have Joe Davis, Jeff Smith, and Nick Kraus due up. Davis, the DH, on the night, 0 for 1 with a fly out to the second baseman. That was when Dylan Sprague and Tony Rosselli had ran into each other. Both of them are okay. Davis, meanwhile, looks at called strike 1 and then swings right through strike number 2. Finally, he has found himself in a deep hole to begin this at-bat. Murray trying to get strikeout number 7 on the night. He's starting off this at-bat on the right foot. Nods his head to his catcher, throws the 0-2. That one at 76 miles an hour, a little bit too much plate on that pitch by Murray. Thankfully for him, Davis didn't get a good swing on it. Murray the windup, the 0-2, fastball outside. Fighting it off was Davis, trying to stay alive in there, simply just reading and reacting and putting a pitch out of play at the last second to continue this battle. Infield, outfield for the most part at normal depth outside of Rosselli, who is playing a tad shallow out there in center field. The 0-2 pitch to Davis, finally a ball thrown by Murray in this at-bat. Wynn moving a little bit in as we see that flag out in center field, picking up every once in a while, but for the most part, the weather is calm here tonight. 1-2 pitch, Davis fouling it off, and out of play it goes once again. Davis, in his first plate appearance, had a 7-pitch at-bat in the 7th, and he has worked a 6-pitch count here. Number 6 in the at-bat about to happen. Donnie Murray, the 1-2 pitch, off speed, back up the middle. Murray actually stuck his foot out to try and stop that baseball, but Brett the Stash Belkin reacting to that, coming in to field that ground ball that had ricocheted off of Murray, and the 1-6-3 putout retires Joe Davis. Fun one right there.
In hindsight, Murray's probably better off not kicking it because it slowed it down, but Balkin had time to get the out with Davis. But if you're on the mound pitching in that situation and you've got a comebacker and you're going to do whatever possible to try to slow it down, it's a complete reaction play.
Yeah, just human instinct right there. You see something coming your way, you're going to try and stop it to make the play. But fortunately for Donnie Murray's sake, Brett Balkin, his starting shortstop throughout this entire USPBL season, had his back right there like he has all year long. And now Jeff Smith, the batter for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, stands in. He was strikeout victim number 5 on the night for Donnie Murray. Murray already ahead in the count here, 0-1 on the man out of Hamilton, Ohio. And just like that, Murray with the 89-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner. Start calling this man Picasso. He is painting all night long here.
Yeah, but Picasso didn't really fill in the lines. He was kind of all over the place.
Just like that one right there in the dirt, nowhere near the zone. So the Picasso staying true right there.
It's more like a Thomas Kincaid, really straight lines, colors. Picasso was just kind of did whatever he wanted to.
The 1-2 pitch just missing outside. Nice eye at the plate right there from Jeff Smith. Already on the night, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. That's a tough 1-2 pitch to lay off of, just missing on the outside corner.
How about Bob Ross, the PBS guy?
Oh, yeah. One of my buddies was actually him for Halloween last year. That was a hoot. On the 2-2 pitch, a chopper to the left side. The Stash, Mr. Balkin, staying busy over there on the left side. This one, a little more routine grounder for that man out of Cal State Northridge. He comes out for the second out in this inning. 2 up, 2 down, courtesy of Mr. Balkin.
And to tie it all back into baseball, Bob Ross, the legendary painter, late, great Bob Ross, he had a hairdo that resembled the former Major League outfielder Oscar Gamble. Had the big afro haircut, or not haircut.
And I'm not sure if you recall or not, but one of the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers and it's actually Mr. Hernandez, the first baseman for the Beavers. You'll see that on Sunday. He's got quite the fro, and almost any time he makes a movement on the field, his hat falls off. I would not be able to play with that type of hair, but back to the game we go. Kraus, after looking at ball one, fouls off the second pitch of the at-bat. The count 1-1 on the right-hander out of Hillsborough Community College. Kraus on the night grounded out to Dylan Sprague back in the third, but trying to get his first hit of the evening right here. The 1-1 pitch, fastball 89, missing outside. Kraus now in a favorable count. Infield, outfield for the most part at normal depth, but once again, a nice hole out there in right center field. 2-1 pitch to Kraus, hit, lifted, shallow right field. Underneath it, Sprague, Cruz there to back him up, but Sprague comes up with the catch for the third and final out. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 5th inning. We are still scoreless in this one. We'll see if the Unicorns can put together something in the home half of the 5th. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 of this 2017 USPBL playoff race. Westside Woolly Mammoths and Utica Unicorns scoreless through the first 4.5 frames. Chris Cruz, Spencer Ibarra, and Brett Balkin, the 8-9 one-hitters, due up for the Unicorns in this home half of the 5th. Cruz on the night, 0 for 1, grounded out to Riley Palmer to end the 2nd inning. Holcomb back out there for his 5th inning of work. Starts off Chris Cruz with a swing and miss strike, but through the first 4 frames, 62 pitches for Mr. Holcomb, just 29 of them for strikes. Chris Cruz on the 0-1. A little bit of PFP action here, a close play over at first base, but doing their jobs perfectly right there were Palmer and Holcomb. The 3-1 put out, good enough for out number 1. So the number 9 hitter, Spencer Ibarra, now standing in. Looked at a 4-pitch walk back in the 3rd inning. Got all the way to third base, but could not come in to score. He is one of 2 Unicorns on the night to get to third base. Ibarra, to start this at-bat, looks at ball 1. 5 straight balls thrown to the left-hander out of Ohio University. Ibarra looking at ball 2 here. Ahead in the count now, 2-0. Ibarra, a Mid-American Conference champion this year with the Ohio Bobcats. I got the pleasure to interview him a couple of days ago in one of the pregame shows. And Ibarra, as he looks at ball 3 here, he wasn't ready for the question. My Central Michigan Chippewas ended up sweeping them in the regular season 3-0, but of course in the Mid-American Conference playoff run. The Bobcats getting the better number of my Chippewas when it was mattering, and that was a fun conversation to be had. Ibarra, meanwhile, looks at called strike one. Still in a favorable 3-1 count here against Holcomb. A 3-1 pitch misses the zone, and let's double-check this. For the third time in 5 frames, Holcomb leads off with a walk here, but 1 out on the board. Chris Cruz was retired via that 3-1 putout. That is walk number 4 on the night for Holcomb. Back to the top of this order we go.
So you were bragging about Central Michigan winning the 3 games in the regular season.
Yeah, a little bit. It was fun.
Did he just go scoreboard? I mean, they won it when it mattered.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, I was just letting him know that, I mean, technically the season series, of course, 3-1, but they got the game that mattered and ended up.
And that means they get to go to the NCAA tournament, too. It's that automatic bid, so.
Yeah. It is. It was quite the ride to watch the Chippewas battle, but for some reason, once they get to the Mid-American Conference tournament, they have just not been able to put it all together when it matters most. And I know my good friend Adam Jacksa was heartbroken to see how that one ended last season. The 1-0 pitch to Brett Balkin, missing the zone here. And just like that, just 3 strikes in this inning of work for Holcomb, starting to get towards the later part of his start. Things possibly could be starting to fall apart. Unicorns ready to take advantage. Balkin trying to reach base safely for the 3rd time tonight. He's on his way as he looks at ball 3 here inside.
Yeah, the hard thing to imagine, or to kind of fathom with Holcomb is that he has pitched pretty well throughout this ball game, but there's been those stretches where it's been, 8 of 10 pitches out of the zone.
Just finding the zone right there on the 3-0. That one right on the fringe on the outside corner. Home plate umpire does give him the benefit of the doubt there on that 3-0.
Yeah, that was probably off the plate. That's probably not a strike 3 with an 0-2 count. But it is called a strike with a 3-0 count.
Holcomb lifts, throws, and would you look at that? Brett Balkin for the 2nd time tonight taking the ball the other way into that hole in between first and second. The right fielder, that was Alex Abbott. A little bit of a miscue out there in right. He didn't initially pick up the baseball, but Spencer Ibarra playing it safe. He'll stay at second. 1-out single brings runners to first and second for the Unicorns, and Dylan Sprague coming up trying to get his 2nd hit of the night.
Great ball game for Balkin so far. He's made some nice plays at shortstop, but 2 hits and a walk. He's been on base 3 times, and we've said this before. Utica's got a rally brewing. They had runners on in every inning so far. They stranded runners in the first 3 innings, and we're going to get another visit from Shane McCaddy, the manager who also serves as pitching coach for this Utica, this Woolly Mammoths team. But at some point, Holcomb is going to break. He's bent quite a bit in this ball game, but they have not been able to get to him. He has been able to pitch out of jams, but eventually this kind of luck is going to run out for Holcomb. He's got 2 on, 1 out, and Sprague coming to the plate with 2, 3, and 4 all due up for Utica. This is a great scoring opportunity for the Unicorns.
There are a few men standing out there in the right field bullpen for the Mammoths, but technically no action just yet. This is Holcomb's inning to finish, pending what happens here with Dylan Sprague. First pitch to him on the outside corner. Sprague might disagree with the call, but right there on the paint. Nice pitch there from Holcomb to begin this at-bat. Sprague on the night, reached on the single in the first, and then grounded out to second back in the 3rd inning. This 3rd opportunity for him at the plate with at least 1 runner on. Looks at ball 1, evening the count up at 1-1 here.
That's 75 pitches now for Holcomb, and he has thrown a lot of high-stress pitches. It's not just the pitch count sometimes. It's what sort of situations has he been put in, and he's been working from the stretch a lot.
Pitch number 76, missing outside. Count going to 2-1. on the batter Sprague, and just 45 of those pitches, 4 strikes on the night. Not the worst ratio, but he has been limiting the damage when he can. This ball on the 2-1, hit high and shallow. It's going to end up falling into the grandstands. And what a tough spot right there for that young man trying to get the loose baseball. It ended up bouncing off the 3rd or 4th row. It fell back into the protective netting from the fan side and then fell down into the diamond tables right out of the grasp of that young man. Tough one for him, but Dylan Sprague in an even tougher position. That foul ball evens the count up at 2-2 here. Holcomb with an opportunity to possibly throw something off speed and either get a strikeout or maybe even a ground ball that could turn into 2. The 2-2 pitch hit, taken the opposite way, and it'll be far enough to get out of play. Sprague continues to battle here in this one. But this could be the night for Jeremy Holcomb, pending what happens in this at-bat, and then obviously the next couple coming up here. Willie Martin on deck, Nico Lolio in the hole, Tony Rosselli due up 3rd after Sprague if we get to that point. Runners on 1st and 2nd. Unicorns trying to get the first run of the ball game for either team. The 2-2 pitch, fastball missing high and outside, so this one even tougher now for Holcomb. He's going to have to throw a strike, otherwise bases will be loaded with just 1 out.
And if you're Jim Essien, do you risk putting the runners in motion here, full count, 1 out? If it's a strikeout, you risk the chance of Ibarra getting thrown out at 3rd base and ending the threat. I'm going to guess they're not going.
Playing on the safe side in a scoreless game. No, they are not. They are, in fact, going, but the 3-2 pitch missing outside. Nick Krause with a really good throw to 3rd base, but unfortunately for the Mammoths, and especially Jeremy Holcomb, just like that, the 2nd walk of the inning and 5th of the outing, loads the bases here. Going to 3rd is Ibarra, going to 2nd is Balkin, and Sprague now standing over at 1st base. We saw the Mammoths get out of a couple of jams already in this outing for Holcomb, but this by far the toughest spot that they have been put in so far in this ballgame.
Got a guy who's got some power at the plate in Willie Martin.
Martin on the night, 0 for 1 with a walk to his credit back in the 3rd inning. If he could work a walk in this at-bat, he would drive in the first run of the game. That would be arguably the easiest way you could do so. Martin ready for the first pitch in the at-bat. A fastball low and inside. Almost going around was Martin, but he holds off at the last second. Oh, and then I take that back. Gary Wagon shuts his partner over there at 1st base, saying he in fact did go around. So instead of the 1-0, the pitch coming up here will be the 0-1. Holcomb ahead of the batter, and we'll see how big of a difference that'll make in this one. The 0-1 pitch missing inside, evens it up at 1-1, but Holcomb still in a huge spot here. So many possibilities could happen.
We don't have the angle, but boy, it sure did not look like he swung at the first pitch. And a 2-0 pitch from Holcomb would be so much more pressure-packed than delivering a 1-1 here.
And that's the toughest part for Willie Martin. He's got to try and block out the bad energy and forget about how this at-bat had started off against him as much as he think it shouldn't have. Looks at ball 2 here in the dirt, still maintaining the focus in this at-bat. He now has the opportunity with the 2-1 offer coming up. We'll see what happens. A dark night here now. Sun officially has set. The sky very dark, but light shining bright here on Jimmy John's Field. The 2-1 pitch, that one getting away and outside. Krause gets a piece of it, but the count now 3-1, and the Westside Woolly Mammoths on the verge of giving up the first run of the ball game. That would be the 3rd walk of the inning for Mr. Holcomb, and you would imagine his night could possibly be over if he can't find the strike zone here. Martin the batter, Holcomb the pitcher. The 3-1 hit to the left side. Can they turn to the 5, the 4, the 3? The Westside Woolly Mammoths get out of a bases-loaded one-out jam in the bottom of the 5th. No one happier than Mr. Holcomb, and just like that, we remain scoreless heading to the 6th. This is a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around for the rest of the game. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland alongside Brad Golder here in Game 1 of the 2017 USPBL playoffs. We've seen just about everything outside of a run in this one. Donnie Murray as well as Grant Holcomb not allowing a run through their first 5 innings of work. Holcomb in that last inning, he gave up 3 walks, 1 hit, but his defense turning a 5-4-3 double play to end the bases-loaded threat for the Unicorns in the home half of the 5th. We'll see if that momentum transitions into the bats here. Riley Palmer leading the way for this Mammoth team. Already 1 for 1 on the night with a gap shot double. He gets started off with a ball that misses in the dirt inside, 1-0.
Holcomb has been the magician in this game. He has had all kinds of base runners. He's given up 5 hits, 5 walks, so a total of 10 base runners, but he's had 3 double plays turned behind him. He's had a caught stealing behind him, so a lot of outs on the bases that have helped him out. 2 of those double play balls hit in big spots by Willie Martin, who's a dangerous 3-hole hitter, but has grounded into a couple of very costly double plays so far for Utica.
Yeah, in the end, in games like this, as Palmer fouls off the 2-0 offer, it's all about timely hitting, especially in games that, of course, you win or go home. Westside Woolly Mammoths with an opportunity to here in a scoreless ball game to forget about some of the tough situations that they have gotten out of and look on to what is next. The count here 2-1 on Palmer. Murray with the windup, the pitch, and the ball fouled off into the netting here behind home plate. Brings the count even at 2s.
In Martin's 3 at-bats in this ballgame, he's had a total of 6 runners on base during those at-bats. He walked during the middle plate appearance today, but some big spots he's been in.
On the 2-2, Palmer fouling one off. And the beauty of it for Mr. Willie Martin, he'll probably have one more at-bat, and you would imagine either Brett Balkin or Dylan Sprague or Ibarra will be on base when he does come up again. And as bad as it has gone for him, who knows, maybe he could be the hero when things are all said and done. The 2-2 pitch, meanwhile, Palmer chasing after the high elevated fastball at 89 miles an hour out of the hand of Donnie Murray. Strikeout number 7 of the outing for the right-hander out of Holy Cross. He continues to shine here in this one.
Well, the way this one has gone, guys don't even need anyone on base to perhaps drive in what could be the winning run of this ball game. Just one swing of this bat, for anyone in this game could be the difference. This could very well wind up being a 1-0 win for either team.
And a good opportunity here for Jalen Lawson as he pulls back the bunt. Ball missing outside. I mentioned Lawson with 2 home runs in his last 3 games with the Westside Woolly Mammoths. A short-statured guy, but plenty of power in his frame. The 1-0 pitch missing low and outside. He's worked the count here now 2-0. And when he does leave the park, it has been on off-speed pitches. I remember he took a slider about 40 feet over the left field wall just a couple of nights ago. But a good opportunity here in the 2-0. That one at 87 outside, getting just enough of the strike zone. Lawson thought he had ball 3 there, but still ahead in this one, 2-1. Brett Balk in the stash, the shortstop for the Unicorns, shaded a little bit to his left. And the 2-1 pitch swung on and missed. That was the type of swing from Lawson that if he does connect, he will hit it far. But obviously the tougher objective of that is to make contact. He's even here at 2-2. Murray with that step back, comes back, rocks, swing, or throws, and retires Lawson on that swing and miss. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the 6th give Donnie Murray his 7th and 8th Ks of the outing. I'm almost positive, if I look at his stats over the year, Donnie Murray, I'm pretty sure, had 2 outings with the Unicorns this year where he had double-digit strikeouts, and I am correct. Back on August the 6th, my birthday, in fact, he had 10 Ks in a 5-0 shutout against the Eastside Diamond Hoppers where he went 8 innings strong. And then his last really good start back on the 26th against this Westside team, he had 10 Ks as well. On the first pitch to Kent Blackstone, he hits one high and shallow into center field. Tony Rosselli comes up with the easy catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Donnie Murray and company in this top of the 6th inning. We head to the home half as the Unicorns will try and get the first run of the ball game. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland alongside Brad Golder here for the call in Game 1 of this 2017 USPBL playoff race. Nico Lolio, Tony Rosselli, Greg Jones, the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Unicorns to begin this home half of the 6th inning. Still scoreless between these two teams. 2 hits on the board for the Mammoths, 5 for the Unicorns. They have, in fact, gotten no runs on 1 hit in every half inning offensively on the night. We'll see if their story changes here as Lolio looks at called strike 1 to begin this at-bat. Holcomb, meanwhile, out here for his 6th inning of work as he throws ball 1 that misses outside. Through his 5 innings of work, he's thrown 86 pitches, just 39 of them for strikes. 5 walks, 3 Ks. Brad and I up here in between the innings weren't sure if Holcomb was going to come back out here as he throws ball 2, but obviously the Mammoths trusting the right-hander, and I'm sure they're going to let him continue his night until he maybe gives up a run.
But that pitch was nowhere near, and that's been kind of the case for Holcomb throughout this game. It's been a very odd pitcher's duel because Murray has been a traditional pitcher locked into a pitcher's duel. He's been dominant in this game. Holcomb hasn't given up any runs, but he's been playing with fire in every inning, but he's just been able to get out of jams. He's pitched really well this ball game from the stretch, but not so well from the windup.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, 3 double plays turn for this Westside team, and this one is Lolio fouls off a pitch to bring the count full, but the defense has been stellar thus far for the Mammoths, but can that hold on? We'll see if Holcomb can continue his scoreless night here, but a tough half inning of work. As we mentioned, the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up here, and Lolio on the full count pitch looks at one that misses low and inside, and we will see how further the right-hander Holcomb will go in this one. Shane McCaddy is going to have to be making a very, very tough decision coming up.
At 6 walks through 5+ innings, his 6 leadoff guys, he's walked 3 of them so far. So eventually, though, you would think the luck is going to run out for Jeremy Holcomb. It's at 92 pitches, and Westside's just killing some time right now. Krause is at the mound, but just killing some time as the bullpen gets cranked up again for Westside, and we'll see how long that leash is going to be for Jeremy Holcomb, where they just buying some time for the bullpen, or no, they're going to allow Holcomb to stay out there and face at least one more batter, Tony Roselli.
Yeah, out there in the bullpen for the Westside Woolly Mammoths is number 16, the left-hander, Sean Kennedy. But meanwhile, Roselli, the batter now, looks at ball 1 to begin this at-bat. Dare we say it? Can Holcomb get his 4th double play of the outing on the 1-0? Roselli takes a tough swing right there. That one in on the hands. Roselli with not the prettiest of swings right there.
Yeah, the hand kind of came off the bat. He was kind of shaking his wrist afterwards.
Never know. He might have tweaked that in that collision out there in center field when him and Dylan Sprague had collided. Roselli, you got to imagine he'd have to break something in order to get taken out of a game like this. You play the entire season leading up to this pivotal game. The ground ball, can they get it? Over to the shortstop, to the second baseman, to first, in time. Look at that. The Mammoths with their 4th Trico double play. The middle infielders doing the work once again. Tony Roselli with some speed down the line, but would you look at that? I mean, Holcomb's got to be, he might be owing a couple of these guys a drink or two, of course, after this one, pending the outcome, but Greg Jones now coming in to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on.
You know, and I mean, even in counts like that, I mean, he's getting double play balls on hitters' counts. And it's amazing. He has been able to get into and out of jams all night long. It's been hard to figure.
Ground ball to the right side. A tough hop over there for Riley Palmer. He does his job to keep the baseball in front of him. The pitcher, Mr. Holcomb, does his job to go over and cover the bag. And just like that, we are scoreless through 6 innings here in this initial playoff game of this 2017 USPBL season. We head to the 7th scoreless. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here, game one of the 2017 USPBL playoff picture. We are scoreless. Mammoths and Unicorns still trying to get their first run of the game. To the seventh we go, and back to the play-by-play duties. I'll hand it back over to Mr. Golder.
Rich, thank you. It's hard to fathom how Jeremy Holcomb has been able to get out of these jams in this ball game. It is the worst, best outing I have really ever witnessed. 6 innings, he has given up 5 hits and 6 walks, but no runs, and has been aided by 4 double plays. That ball is grounded to the right side, and somehow it'll scoot into right field for a soft base hit to lead things off for Thomas Fiesel.
As I look at some of Mr. Holcomb's stats, this is actually his first outing of the season, allowing more than 5 walks, but shockingly, he has yet to give up a run in the game. His best outing strikeout-wise, he had 9 Ks against the Unicorns back on August the 11th, but on the outing, just 3 through the first 6 frames. He is trying to just get by as best as he can for how things have gone. And if you're the Mammoths, you got to be pretty happy with where your team stands. You've only gotten 3 hits against Murray on the night, but an opportunity here in this 7th inning.
Leadoff man is aboard after the soft hit to the right side by Fiesel. Now Alex Abbott takes outside, and 1 ball, no strikes. You've got a pitcher that through 6 innings had only given up 2 base runners, the 2 hits allowed by Donnie Murray, 2 doubles, and then a pitcher on the other side that had given up 11 base runners in Holcomb. Yet Westside's got an opportunity to strike first here with the leadoff man on in the 7th, and a 2-ball no strike count now to Abbott as that one misses high.
So we've been talking all night about how Holcomb's had to battle through the adversity. Donnie Murray, meanwhile, allowing just a hit in the 3rd inning, the 4th inning, and now here in this 7th. No man has reached past second base. Palmer and Abbott, the man at the plate, the only men with doubles on the night.
Outside to Abbott, 3-0. You know Murray has good command. Does Shane McCaddy consider his cleanup man, Alex Abbott, giving him that green light here? 3-0 with a pitcher that has good control and a hitter at the plate who had 8 homers during the regular season. The 3-0, and it's a strike called, 3-1. He may have had the green light. We don't know. That was a pitch that was probably borderline, outside corner at the knees. Good pitcher's pitch.
Yeah, Abbott thinking he might have had ball 4 there, but instead just getting enough of the outside corner was Murray. Staying alive, he is in here, but still behind in the count, 3-1 on Abbott.
Fiesel leads off of first. 3-1 pitch home. Line softly left side and out of the reach of Balkin into shallow left field. A little bleeder off the bat of Alex Abbott, and 2 on with none out. Woolly Mammoths have not hit the ball hard yet in this inning, but they have 2 soft singles, nobody out, and Ethan Whisker at the plate.
I mean, it doesn't matter how hard you hit it as long as you hit it where they ain't. Of course, the best showing of that way back when the Arizona Diamondbacks, of course, winning walk-off fashion in Game 7 of the World Series. Luis Gonzalez doing it, not the prettiest of ways, but that could possibly be the way that the Mammoths get the job done here tonight. Ethan Whisker with a beautiful opportunity.
2 on, none out. Possible bunt situation for Whisker. Corners are in. He shows bunt, gets it down. Third base side. Webb's only play is to first. Throws to the second baseman, Sprague covering. Successful sacrifice for Whisker. Moves the runners up to second and third with 1 out. Put out goes 5-4. 1 out. First base is open for Davis. And let's see how Utica plays it. Smith is on deck.
I'm a little shocked with where the middle infielders are playing right now.
They are back. So if Davis hits it up the middle on the ground, Utica will give up the run. I agree. I am surprised that they are back. First pitch is high. 1 ball, no strikes.
Davis, not the slowest of guys at the plate. He does have speed. But, yeah, I'm shocked that even the corners aren't playing in. They're playing just behind the baseline.
They could come to the plate, though, on a ground ball if the runner came. The 1-0 is a strike. They're medium depth. The middle infielders are back, which surprised me. They could also walk Davis if you're Utica. Load the bases, try to get out of it with a double play. That's been the formula today for Westside, although not with intentional walks.
Right, if they wanted to intentionally walk him, they could just put him on without a throw. But they're going after Davis here. We'll see what happens.
The 1-1 to Davis. Popped it up, right side, foul ground. Martin gives it a look, but it's out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So Murray trying to get his 9th strikeout of the outing. He's got 67 strikes to 27 balls in this outing. But he needs to strike more than ever here against the designated hitter. Joe Davis with a couple of ducks on the pond. If he hits the 3rd bloop single of the inning for the Mammoths, that would possibly give them the 2-0 lead.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch home from Murray. Popped it up foul and out of play. And Joe Davis stays alive.
I like that pitch right there from Murray. Fastball at 89, high and inside. Davis on that one, just reacting and trying to put the ball in play. But with that elevated fastball, Murray getting the foul ball out of it. Of course, he was trying to get the swing and miss, but he does get the foul ball out of it. He's currently looking like he's trying to get some dirt out of his cleat behind pitcher's mound. Not sure how long this will take, as he's trying to figure this out.
So now Murray's ready. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out to Davis. Fiesel at 3rd, Abbott at 2nd. Scoreless tie, top of the 7th. And the 1-2 pitch homeward. Swing and a miss. Went upstairs with a fastball. And that's 9 strikeouts for Donnie Murray. 2 gone in the 7th.
This would be something, wouldn't it, if Murray could get out of his biggest jam of the night after what we just saw from Mr. Jeremy Holcomb. This bottom of the 6th, top 7th has been as intense as it could possibly be, but both pitchers doing as best they can. Holcomb getting out of the jam with the 4th double play turn by the Mammoth defense, but the Unicorns needing just 1 out here. Everybody playing at normal depth now.
2 outs. 2 still in scoring position. Pitch to Smith. Swing and a miss. Kind of stepped out there on the swing. It's 0-1.
Yeah, not a pretty swing from Jeff Smith. He's got 35 hits on the season. 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout and a ground out. Looking for his first hit of the ball game. It would be the biggest of the night. But he's still battling here, down 0-1.
Fiesel at 3rd, Abbott at 2nd is Murray. Stretches and pitches. Upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. There is bullpen action for the first time tonight for the Unicorns.
Out there, it looks as if it's trying to get a number as we speak with these binoculars. Looks to be possibly number 12. That's Chris Dula out of Ferrum, Virginia.
Murray fires away the 1-1. Upstairs, 2 balls and a strike.
So as of late, Murray, if he's missing up. Not the worst thing with the speed that he has on that fastball. Tough for opposing hitters to try and catch up on, but now down in the count here, 2-1 against the hitter. He's going to have to find something in the zone, maybe go to that outside corner to try and paint it to even the count up at 2-2. We'll see what happens here.
Can't be a whole lot left in the tank for Murray. This is pitch number 98 of the night. And it's taken on the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Murray.
Well,
Or to Smith, rather, from Murray.
a lot of the times I look bad up here, but not bad right there. The 2-1 pitch, he did exactly what I thought he would. A perfect pitch on that outside corner, just 1 strike away from getting out of this jam and possibly getting his 10th strikeout. That would be his 3rd time ever getting double-digit Ks in a start.
2-2. Chopper left side, threw into left field, a base hit. 1 run scores. Abbott around third. He's heading to the plate. The throw by Ibarra way high. Backed up by Murray. Into second goes Smith, and he cracks the scoreboard for the first time in this ball game. Breaks a 0-0 tie with a 2-run single to left field, bringing in Feasel and Abbott and giving the Westside Woolly Mammoths a 2-0 lead.
Talk about a turn of events here for the Unicorns. Now they really have to bear down and obviously retire Kraus here, but due up for the Unicorns in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9 due up for them. Obviously still 3 at-bats to go, but Woolly Mammoths getting their percentage to win this game, going up a lot right there. Clutch hit by Jeff Smith.
He got a huge lead off second base, but didn't try to take third. The pitch delivered anyhow, and it's fouled off by Kraus, 0-1. He was dancing off of second base and was about a quarter of the way to third when Murray delivered the pitch.
Yeah, last thing you want to do is a base runner here. Obviously, you get the 2 runs, but you can always get more. Last thing you want to do is get caught at third base for out number 3.
They are giving him a huge lead. The 0-1, tapped at the plate, foul, no balls, and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it looks as if Murray's trying to attack Kraus, the hitter here. A 164 average on the season for Kraus coming into play tonight. He's over 2 with a grounder and a pop-out to Dylan Sprague over there at second base. Donnie Murray seems as if he could care less about Smith out there. He's mainly focused on the man at the plate, just 1 strike away from getting out of this jam.
No balls, 2 strikes to the catcher, Kraus. Runner goes, Smith, and a swing and a miss. And Kraus goes down on strikes. 10 strikeouts for Donnie Murray, but in the process, the Westside Woolly Mammoths score the game's first 2 runs. And as we stretch at Jimmy John's Field, new score, Westside Woolly Mammoths 2, the Utica Unicorns 0. This is the USPBL playoffs. Westside Woolly Mammoths get the game's first 2 runs. 2-run single by Jeff Smith. And they lead it 2-0 as we play in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And Jeremy Holcomb continues on. He will work into the 7th inning after throwing 6 shutout innings, but constantly dealing with runners on base and getting out of jams. Let's see how he does against the bottom of the order, beginning with Bobby Webb. And first pitch, low and away, almost the backstop. 1 ball, no strikes.
Pitch number 99 right there on the night for Mr. Holcomb. 44 of them, 4 strikes coming into this one. 6 walks, 3 strikeouts, but like you mentioned, no runs given up. He has been what some would say lucky here in this one thus far.
Sock to right field. Drifting back is Abbott, and he makes the grab. 1 away. You know, we can give you all the stats you want. 5 hits, 6 walks, runners on base all the time, all the pitches. It's now at 100, but 0 is the number that matters, and that's number of runs he's given up through 6 1/3 innings. And his offense has finally been able to get to Donnie Murray and gotten him a couple of runs here. And Westside just needs 8 more outs. Chris Cruz takes low and away, 1 ball, no strikes.
Mammoths with just 2 hits through the first 6 frames. They get 2 runs on 3 hits in that 7th. They finally cracked the code that is Donnie Murray.
1-0 to Cruz, lined into right field. Another chance for Abbott, battling the glare of the lights, and he kind of ducks as he makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. That was a much more difficult catch for Abbott than it looked like it was going to be because of those lights here at Jimmy John's Field.
And they'll both the first 2 outs in this home half of the 7th inning, they'll go down as lineouts or flyouts, what have you, to right field. But good contact thus far in these 2 at-bats for the Unicorns. They're just unfortunately hitting them right at the right fielder, Abbott. They need to find a hole out there.
Spencer Ibarra takes one that bounces in. He has walked twice. He has seen 9 pitches and 1 strike in today's game. He has seen 10 pitches, rather, and 1 strike. Popped up foul and out of play. And it's now 1-1 to the Utica left fielder Ibarra. 2-0 Westside. Utica batting in the bottom half of the 7th inning in the USPBL quarterfinals. 1-1, fouled off back behind the plate. It's 1-2.
It's a real nice pitch right there from Jeremy Holcomb. Fastball high and inside in the strike zone at 91 miles an hour. Ibarra doing the only thing he really could on that one. He made good contact, but just not the right piece of the bat. It goes out of play. Now he's down to his final strike here.
1-2 pitch home from Holcomb. Fouled it off to the left and out of play.
A good fight here for the left-hander, forcing Jeremy Holcomb to throw more pitches. He's now at 107 on the night, 49 strikes to 56 balls.
Two outs, bases empty. And the 1-2 pitch to Ibarra. Chopped it up the first base line and foul.
Continuing to protect here in this one. If Ibarra can get on base, that'll be quite the battle, but no matter how hard he works here, if he cannot reach base safely, Holcomb will once again get out of a jam. And as I look at the outing thus far for the right-hander, he had a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th inning, and in the 6th inning, after a leadoff single in the 4th, a leadoff walk in the 6th, but a couple of double plays and also a caught stealing have limited the threats for the Unicorns tonight. And
inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's just been it's been a long, close, edge-of-your-seat type game, and the Unicorns, who are the 3rd place team tonight, trying to stay alive, they only have 2 more at-bats after this 7th inning is all said and done.
Another foul ball off the bat of Ibarra, and he's battling here. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
Pitch number 8 of the at-bat about to be thrown by Holcomb. He seems ready to go.
He is. Off the plate away with a changeup. And a 3-2 count to Spencer Ibarra.
Phenomenal pitch, but how about that take right there from the number 9 hitter, Ibarra? to not chase after that ball that just missed the zone.
Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Couldn't lay off that one. It was not in the zone upstairs. But Ibarra strikes out. That's 4 strikeouts for Jeremy Holcomb through 7 innings of work. We go to the 8th inning at Jimmy John's Field. It's the Westside Woolly Mammoths leading the Utica Unicorns 2-0. Donnie Murray pitches on for the Utica Unicorns into the 8th inning. Utica down 2-0. Donnie Murray sitting at 102 pitches. He has struck out 10 in 7 innings of work and was just dominant through 6 innings. But a couple of bleeders to the first 2 batters of the 7th put 2 on, and a 2-out single by Jeff Smith scored the only 2 runs of this ball game. Now it's Riley Palmer taking a look at one that bounces in. 1 ball, no strikes to begin the top half of the 8th inning. Palmer a double on the first pitch of the 3rd, or the first pitch he saw in the 3rd. And then also a strikeout in the 6th inning. He swings and pops this one up left side and out of play. It's 1-1. Palmer, Lawson, and Blackstone for Westside here in the 8th.
You're the Unicorns, and Donnie Murray in this one, clearly the motive. I don't care how you do it, but get 3 outs before 1 run comes in to score. Unicorns cannot afford to give up any more runs in this one. Just 2 more times they will come up to the plate.
1-1 is low on an off-speed pitch. 2 balls and a strike to Palmer. Yeah, look at it. Next inning is such a key inning for Utica as well. They got the top of the order due up. So it sets up nicely in the 8th inning against, again, I would assume, the Westside bullpen. Holcomb sitting at 111 pitches.
Just like you had assumed at the last 2 innings, right?
2-1 to Palmer. Swing and a ball skied in the air up above the lights. Rosselli was playing deep, has to race in, and able to make the grab in shallow center, 1 down.
Yeah, Donnie Murray on the season had just gone into the 8th inning once prior coming into play tonight. That was back on August the 6th, where he had gone those 8 innings, gave up just 5 hits, 1 walk, 2 10 strikeouts when he faced 30 batters, but clearly a much bigger motive here tonight. 104 pitches coming into this 8th inning. he'll have to try and get back at the top of the order of this Westside team with 1 out and nobody on.
Jalen Lawson foul tips that one off the mask of Jones. Lawson has taken, case in point, some big swings here tonight, but has not connected. A couple of strikeouts and a ground ball to first base. So 0 for 3 today for Lawson. Murray nods yes, the 0-1. All the way to the backstop away, 1 ball, 1 strike. He's got the sweatshirt on underneath with a hood. Not able to wear that with the helmet on. I can see the hood over the helmet. That'd be a unique look. It's gray, so it would look like the Utica helmets. 1-0 on the way to Lawson. Another big swing and a miss. He's taking the kind of swings you see the day before the All-Star game, the home run derby kind of cuts.
It's all about that launch angle, right?
He's had the angle. He just hasn't had the connection. Now the 1-2 home to Lawson. Line to second. Caught. Shoe top high by Sprague. 2 away.
Nice at-bat there from Lawson. Just couldn't get the result he wanted. Forced Murray to throw some pitches and then makes good contact. But like you said, right to the second baseman, Mr. Sprague out there. 2 up, 2 down. Donnie Murray. Would you be surprised if he went the whole way tonight? If he goes perfect the rest of the way? I would not, from my perspective. Obviously, win or go home here for the Unicorns. Murray, even over 100 pitches, still their best guy.
High pop-up. Right side, foul ground. Martin waving his hand, says, I got it, and he does. So Donnie Murray with a 1-2-3, top half of the 8th inning. He's imploring upon his offense, get me some runs, boys. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. 2-0 Westside. USPBL quarterfinals postseason here this weekend at Jimmy John's Field. This has been a good one. 2-0 Westside. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Just 6 more outs for Utica to try to push across some runs, and they will try to push them across against Jeremy Holcomb, who will stay into the ball game after 7 innings and 111 pitches, less than half of which have been strikes. But he pumps in 1 on a first pitch to Balkin, 0-1. This game, Rich, has a real old school kind of feel to it. Pitcher's duel and a couple of pitchers that are not letting their managers take the baseball away from them. As the 0-1 to Balkin is chopped high off the plate. Holcomb waits on it to come down. Quick throw to first. They get Balkin, who runs well down the line, 1 away.
That is not an easy play. Coming from a former pitcher myself, a play like that, you got a guy who has tons of speed, busting his tail down that first base line, and a bang-bang play gets recorded for out number 1 here. But Holcomb in the middle of 110 some odd pitches, still out there doing his job and fielding his position perfectly. Gotta love it.
Bunt shown by Sprague. He pulls back at strike one. Sprague a single, a walk, and he has grounded into a double play. 2-0 Westside. Utica batting bottom half of the 8th inning. They've got 5 more outs offensively to try to avoid a first-round elimination in their quest to try to repeat in the USPBL. 1-1. High, 2-1. Westside trying to go all the way. And in order to do so, they're going to have to win and sweep the weekend's playoff series in order to win a championship in their inaugural season. 2-1 to Dylan. Sprague is away, and Holcomb in a familiar position that he's been in this ball game, behind the count. He has gotten away with 6 walks in this ball game. Hitters count for the left-handed hitting Sprague. Outside corners, called strike 2. Sprague started up the first base line, but will have to retrieve his bat, come back to the batter's box with a full count.
So not only do you not get the call you wanted, but you throw the bat away there, waste a little bit of the umpire's time. Never a good sign from a hitter. Last thing you want to do is get on the wrong side of a home plate umpire. Clearly a disagreement between the two there, but the payoff pitch ready here for Mr. Holcomb.
Here it comes. Foul tipped into the mitt for strike 3. Sprague with some parting words, but not much. And they're 2 away here in the 8th inning. Willie Martin, the batter.
So still tons of ball game left to go, but if the Mammoths do in fact hold on, we'll have a rematch from yesterday's ball game. It would be the Mammoths and the Hoppers on the season. The Hoppers, after winning last night, own that season series 11-2.
Wow.
So that would be an incredibly tough task for this Westside team, who of course would be fighting tooth and neck here.
That one's low. 1 ball, no strikes. We have been told that Travis McQueen would start for Westside. Cody Brown would start for Utica, because that one's behind Willie Martin, and that's anything but intentional. But Holcomb continues to struggle with his command, 2-0 to Willie Martin. We are also being told that it'll be Tanner Keist who would get the east side start tomorrow.
And that would be quite a matchup. McQueen as well as Keist, both dominant in their respective seasons.
That one inside. It was off the mitt of Krause. It's 3 balls, no strikes.
I thought that might have gotten a piece of Martin, but you with the quicker eye than I had. Krause, understandable here. I think he's getting an opportunity. He thinks it went off either the knob or the bat of Willie Martin, and I think he might have a case here.
So they're going to ask the first base umpire, and it will be ruled a foul ball. So it does get a piece of the bat, and so it's 2-1. So the call was overruled by the first base umpire. 2 balls and a strike to Willie Martin. No argument, it doesn't appear, from Martin. The 2-1 pitch. Chopped foul, 2-2.
So just like that, you go from a 3-0 to a 2-1, and now on that foul ball, find yourself in an even count here. 2 outs, nobody on. Of course, 2 outs here. You got to find some way to put yourself on base. Unicorns desperately trying to have a base runner on with the tying run at the plate.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Slider down and away. Willie Martin strikes out. 6 strikeouts for Jeremy Holcomb. Unicorns have just 3 more outs to work with. Westside 2, Utica nothing. As we go to the top half of the 9th inning from Jimmy Johns Field.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. To the ninth we go. Rich Borland alongside Brad Golder here on call. Donnie Murray's night officially over. He goes 8 innings strong on 114 pitches, faces off against 29 batters, allows 5 hits, 2 earned runs, both in that 7th inning. No walks for Mr. Murray to 10 strikeouts, the 3rd time he has had that feat accomplished, the double-digit strikeouts. He gives way to Chris Dula, the right-hander out of Ferrum, Virginia. Dula on the year, a 1-0 record with a 3.27 ERA in 10 relief appearances. 11 innings pitched with 11 strikeouts, 8 walks, and 3 hits. He starts off Thomas Fiesel with a ball high and outside.
2-0 our score. Westside with the lead, top half of the 9th inning. Job is simple here for Dula. Get 3 quick outs. Give his offense a chance to try to tie it with 2 or win it with 3, as that one is inside. And it's 2 balls, no strikes to Fiesel. Dula has been almost exclusively a 1-inning guy with Utica. 2-0's fouled back, 2-1.
Yeah, this is his 4th outing against the Woolly Mammoths this season. Each of his outings, just that 1 inning of work. And as I look through some of these stats, he has not given up an earned run all year long. And in fact, he's only given up 1 hit in those 10 games this season against the Woolly Mammoths.
2-1's line to second and caught there by Sprague. Went down. It's been kind of, you look at it, not a big sample size for him on the year with 11 innings, but he's only given up 3 hits, but he's walked 8. So, you know, he has had some runners against him on the free passes, but he has been really tough for USPBL hitters to hit this year. In fact, just a 100 batting average against. Just 3 for 30 on the year during the regular season against Dula. So now 1 out. Here's Abbott, who swings and hammers that ball deep right field. Cruz back, and there's some insurance for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Deep homer for Alex Abbott, who turned on 8 during the regular season. He gets one here in the playoffs, and a little bit more cushion for the Woolly Mammoths. It's 3-0. Big game for Abbott. 3rd hit, 2nd run scored. 3-0 Westside on the home run by Abbott.
There's an arm getting loose down in right field for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Looks to be number 15. That is Andrew Cohen, sort of the 3/4 guy.
There's a strike called at the knees, 0-1 to Whisker. Murray threw 111 and was done after 8, as that one's chopped foul by Whisker. Holcomb has thrown 124. I mean, guys in the big leagues don't throw that many pitches in a ballgame these days. It's very rare when you see a guy do that.
Yeah,
in affiliated minor league baseball, it never happens where a guy will throw anything significantly into triple digits.
Of course, unless there's some magic being dealt in a no-hitter or perfect game scenario. But outside of that, for the most part, you never really see it. But both the starters tonight, well into the triple-digit marking, like you said. Murray and Holcomb set the stage here tonight, but
0-2 is cut out and missed. Ball was in the dirt. Throw to first is in time there. So a strikeout for Dula. There's 2 gone.
Now batting the designated hitter number 10, Joe Davis.
Joe Davis 0 for 3. Couple runs for Westside in the 7th. On an RBI single by Jeff Smith, and then an insurance run just moments ago on the solo home run by Alex Abbott. Westside leading it 3-0, top of the 9th. Dula's pitch, slider cut out and missed.
got 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Unicorns in the home half of the 9th. Lolio, Rosselli, and Jones.
There's a swing and a miss. Ball that bounced in, 0-2.
So they need to get at least 3 runs. If they could get those first 3 batters on base, it could be up possibly to Brett Balkin back at the top of the order in a crazy scenario if the Unicorns can put something together on their last life in the bottom of the 9th inning as the ball flies into the field of play. Looks like it came from the bullpen down there, down the left field line where Andrew Potter is getting loose.
Something in 2 to Davis. Delivery home. Chopper towards shortstop. Balkin waits on the high hop. Double clutch. Still throws to first in time to get Davis for out number 3. Big insurance run for Westside. Solo home run by Alex Abbott. 1 hit. Nobody left on base. We go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Utica needs 3 to send it to extra innings and 4 to win it. This is the USPBL quarterfinals. Westside Woolly Mammoths lead it 3-0, bottom half of the 9th inning, and Jeremy Holcomb will continue on to try for the complete game shutout in round 1 of the USPBL playoffs. He has already thrown 124 pitches. He's going to need to throw at least 130 to win this ball game, and Westside is allowing him to stick out there and throw the complete game. And you look at it strategically, if they can get away with this, and he hasn't been great, but he has been effective in this game. First the pitch to Lolio, it's just off the plate outside, 1 ball, no strikes. If they can get away with this strategy, it gives them a very rested bullpen going into tomorrow's game and possibly a Sunday matchup, as that one just off the corner. A couple close pitches, a couple misses, 2 balls, no strikes to Nico Lolio.
Yeah, from a Westside perspective, your best opportunity being the 4 seed, having to play in all 3 games if you make it to that championship game, as Lolio fouls one off there. You've done as best as you possibly could. You use 1 arm in this entire game, allow the rest of your staff to not use their arms, gives you the rest of your entire pitching to stay ready for tomorrow and obviously on to Sunday, but they are doing everything right here as long as Mr. Holcomb can continue his perfect night.
2-1 to Lolio is high, 3 balls and a strike. And you figure after he threw 50 pitches, I mean, he was done for the playoffs at that point anyhow, and everything they've continued to get after that has been great. The 3-1, Lolio swings it, fouls it back. It's full, 3-2. He has had his struggles. He has walked 6. He has given up a total of 5 hits in this ball game. But you look at it from the 6th inning on, and I thought after the 6th he was gassed and ready to come out. From the 6th inning on, he has set down all 6 in order, including 3 strikeouts. The 3-2, line hard back up the middle. Solid base hit for Lolio. And a good start for Utica here, down by 3 in the bottom half of the 9th inning. They will send the tying run to the on-deck circle, and it will send Shane McCaddy to the mound. And will he finally make the decision and make a call to the bullpen.
Meandering his way out to pitcher's mound. He hasn't made a call to the bullpen just yet. He's going out there to talk to the man on the mound. That is Holcomb. Holcomb looked like he might have had a few words to try and defend his case, but you're at around the 130 mark. You had done so well throughout this game, and he comes out of this one in line for the win. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits on the night with that single. Lolio leads off this 9th inning. We can keep it here real quick. We got number 15 of this Westside Woolly Mammoth team coming out to the mound. That's the man out of Monroe Township, New Jersey, Andrew Cohen, for this Westside team. Cohen on the season with the Westside Woolly Mammoths. He's only got 6 relief appearances. In those 6 relief appearances, he's got a 1-1 record with an even 3.00 ERA in just 6 innings pitched. He's got 1 save to his credit in those 6 innings, while having just 2 strikeouts, 3 walks against him, and then 6 hits he has given up. He's sort of the 3/4 guy. There's nobody getting loose in the Utica bullpen, but Cohen out there with an opportunity to get his 2nd save of the season as he continues to get loose out here.
Final line for Holcomb, 8 innings plus a batter, 6 hits, no runs, although runner at first is his responsibility. Pitched around 6 walks. He struck out 6, including 3 in the last 2 innings. 130 pitches, 63 strikes. So not only did he throw a lot of pitches in the ballgame, he ends up with less than 50% strikes. and somehow he is in line for the win. It's one of those, it reminds me of the football game where, you know, one team has all the time of possession and has all the yards and all the stats, and the other team just has a couple of yards and possessed the ball for just a couple of minutes, and they end up winning the ball game. It's been lopsided in that regard. Donnie Murray pitched a better ball game, but Jeremy Holcomb is in line for the victory and ended up outlasting Donnie Murray and pitched better when it mattered in the runner in scoring position opportunities. This pitch is low to the backstop. It's going to be a wild pitch, maybe a pass ball actually, as Lolio goes into second base. And a 1-ball, no strike count to Tony Roselli. Utica's not done yet. Still nobody out, and a 1-0 count to the center fielder.
And a big part right here, Roselli on the night, 1 for 3 with a single in the 4th. He was caught stealing in that inning. Struck out looking in the 2nd and grounded out into a 6-4-3 double play as he fouls one off into the netting. He's due for a big hit, but in your time in this great game of baseball, have you ever seen a starter go that far into a game with that amount of walks against the opposition and still be in line for the victory?
Check swing, didn't mean to. Blooped it into shallow center, and a great catch over the shoulder by Smith, the shortstop. Jeff Smith made the biggest hit of this ball game and might have made the biggest defensive play of this ball game as well on a check swing blooper by Roselli, and there's one away.
Yeah, Jeff Smith, the candidate for the O'Reilly Sparkplug Player of the Game as of right now, barring anything crazy here from the Unicorns in this home half of the 9th inning. It's looking like Jeff Smith might be our MVP.
Runner at second, 1 out. First pitch to Greg Jones is outside, 1-ball, no strikes. Runner at second, 1 out. Utica trying to get another runner on base to bring a potential tying run to the plate. Cohen's pitch is lined left side and foul, and it's 1-1. But to answer your question, I've never seen a pitching performance quite like that from Holcomb on the good and the bad end of it. And in minor league baseball, you just don't see guys throw 130 pitches. 1-1. Low, 2-1. You don't see it in Major League Baseball anymore. I mean, that's a very retro baseball performance from the days before teams cared about pitching counts. 2-1 pitch. Swing, fly ball, shallow right center field. Abbott, Feasel over, and it's the center fielder Feasel making the catch for out number 2.
Feasel using that speed to run down the baseball that looks like it had a chance to drop in, but a really nice initial jump on that baseball. Feasel going in and to his left to make that catch, and not only that, but more importantly, keeping Lolio honest over there at second base. Could not go anywhere on that one.
Last chance for Utica. Bobby Webb, the third baseman. He's 0 for 3 today. Lolio leads. Ground ball softly left side in the hole. Shortstop Smith throws and gets him for out number 3. Quarterfinal matchup goes to the Westside Woolly Mammoths by a final score of 3-0. And what a heroic pitching effort by Jeremy Holcomb, who works into the 9th inning, throws 130 pitches for a very impressive victory for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Jeff Smith gets the 2-run single, which cracked a scoreless tie. Solo home run for Alex Abbott. And in their first year as a franchise, the Westside Woolly Mammoths advance to the USPBL semifinals.
So we'll see if the Woolly Mammoths can pull a Utica Unicorns here in this 2017 USPBL postseason, being the last seed in the bracket, obviously having to win 3 games to become champions in this season. They've gotten their first feat accomplished here, defeating the Unicorns 3-0. Like you mentioned, the victor, that is Jeremy Holcomb on the season. He moves to 9-3 with the Westside Woolly Mammoths. On the other end of that, Donnie Murray on the season, he gets just his 5th loss of the year. He drops to 6-5 on the season, and as well as Donnie Murray pitched, just really unfortunate for him. The Unicorns, a really good team, but coming up victorious here tonight are the Westside Woolly Mammoths. They will move on to play the Eastside Diamond Hoppers tomorrow. You excited for that one?
I am excited, and I was thinking about it. It's just this is the type of ball game you just do not see in baseball anymore. And I hate to, sit on my rocking chair on the front porch and say back in my day, but you got 2 pitchers that threw 111 for Murray and 130 for Holcomb pitches. I mean, 2 starters working well over 100 pitches in a ball game is a rarity. And, for a while there, the way it was going, it looked like we might have had dueling complete games, which is something you don't see very often. But, impressive on both ends. But it was interesting how you had Holcomb, who had all kinds of opportunities to give up runs. He had all kinds of base runners on. Utica had all kinds of opportunities against him, and he, time and time again, got the job done with runners on base. And Donnie Murray didn't have a lot of chances to pitch with runners in scoring position, but when he did, at least the most notable time with Smith at the plate, one of the few times that he had runners on, he wasn't up to the task in that Smith at bat, and a very tough luck loss for Donnie Murray in this ball game.
A good season for the Unicorns coming to an early end. The Mammoths obviously victorious on the night. Let's look on to the matchup tomorrow. You mentioned you had a conversation pregame finding out that if the Woolly Mammoths had won this ball game, they would be giving the ball to Travis McQueen tomorrow. McQueen will face off against an Eastside lineup on the season. Travis McQueen, a 2-3 record with the Woolly Mammoths, a 3.81 ERA in 18 games, 7 of them starts. In 56.2 innings, he's got 42 strikeouts to just 16 walks. And then against him, you mentioned that it will be Tanner Keast of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. His record doesn't say what he has done this year, even though he's 0-1. He's got a 3.42 ERA through 8 starts, 10 appearances, and in the 42 innings he has pitched, Brad, he's got 78 strikeouts to just 35 walks. In a playoff atmosphere, you are going to imagine that the pitching's going to be good through and through. We're going to have another good matchup tomorrow. Any words going into that one?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good pitching matchup here today, and I think it's going to be more of the same tomorrow. It's going to be a 7:05 start time. We're going to be on the air about 10 minutes before that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There's playoff baseball going on here all weekend, so a day game for the championship on Sunday, and 7:05 tomorrow for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, the 4 seed advancing, taking on the 2 seed Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Fun one here tonight. Enjoyed it, Reg.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, man. It was a pleasure calling a game together for the first time. Both of us obviously having opportunities last year and this year, but this was the first time we got the opportunity to call the game together. Had some fun. You'll be on call tomorrow with Brian Fisher, the voice of the USPBL from this year, until I got back, but I'll be back on call for the championship on Sunday. We'll see if it'll be the Woolly Mammoths or the Eastside Diamond Hoppers that will take on the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers on Sunday in the championship. For my partner, Brad Golder, my name is Rich Borland. Thank you for tuning in tonight, and we will see you tomorrow. Like Brad had mentioned, first pitch right around 7:05. Him and Brian will be on the air about 15 minutes prior to that. The final here tonight, Westside Woolly Mammoths ending the Utica Unicorn season with the final of 3-0. We will see you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Please drive home safe.